Screen. Hello, everybody.
Right.
We're live. I'm not really your host today. This is Cody. He's going to be kind of your host. I'm more of a co-host. I'm with Shacknews. We're here at a local gaming store, the Sorting Board. Cody's one of the managers here, and we're going to unbox some Modern Horizons 3 today. We have some collector boosters, and then we have a full box of play boosters. This is a big box too.
Yeah.
Now, Cody, why don't you go ahead and tell the people about your store, and then why this is a spicy set.
Oh yeah. So we have a bunch of different Magic events. Currently, actually for today in particular, we're doing a win a box thing. So we're doing a modern event where you can win a whole booster box for first place. But I know the set's been very popular, and it's we have a strong different communities between Commander and Modern, and this set is full of cards that help fuel both those formats very very heavily. So this set's been very exciting to watch people opening it, and the cards have definitely been shaking up just Magic in general. So it's pretty good. And we're constantly hosting different Magic events here in for the store and Sorting Board, and we're just excited to see all the creativities that people are making with these new cards that are definitely you hopefully get to see some of them, some of the very new impactful cards.
We have like we on the show we have better luck than you do when you open singles.
Yes.
So we've been really hot the last couple boxes we opened.
Yeah. I think what was the last that we opened? The furthest shop was it?
The Western one.
That was
like you said you opened a box and it was terrible. Then we opened that box and it was much better. The hits were much better on that box.
Well, hopefully we see another one of those. And of course, we have 7 collector booster packs?
7.
Yeah, so maybe
1, 2, 3, 4.
Get lucky and get to see a serialized card. That'd be awesome.
Right?
Yeah, but there's plenty of cards to be looking for in this set.
Right. Let me switch the thing so we can get back to the camera. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, you can still see both of us good. I was worried that I was going to be too narrow.
Yeah. So right off the bat, there's an introduction of
and I know he's a Planeswalker.
Yeah,
I remember he's a Planeswalker. I know that.
So,
I know that much.
Yeah, in Magic Origins, they introduced the idea of the Planeswalker before they became a Planeswalker, and when they flip over, it's when they're getting their Planeswalker spark. So there's 5 different Planeswalkers. All of them are monocolored on the front, flip side to double colored.
Oh, wow.
So it's pretty cool. And all of them are currently getting played in one form or another. Currently big ones, Raoul Zarek, he's getting a lot of play, especially Ruby Storm at the moment. So yeah, if you want to, I can start opening the box.
Yeah. As you're opening that, like, do they have a Jace in this set, and is he insanely good?
No, Jace, unfortunately, will be in the next set, or the next Magic set. Apparently, because he's already been spoiled as a Fox version of him for the new Bloomburrow set, which is pre-releases the end of next month.
That's the set with all the cute creatures, right?
Yes,
like animals and the mouses and stuff.
Yeah,
I like that set. That looks cute.
Yeah, of course,
based on a series of books, right?
Yeah. A week from today, though, is going to be the release of the new Assassin's Creed set.
Yes.
Console out new products. This set only came out about a week or so ago, so there's definitely a lot of
hype around that. I played some of the demos at Summer Games Fest. They have a new mechanic. They have like a new running mechanic, and they really have like the assassin like theme going on. Like a lot of death touch, that kind of stuff. A lot of flying.
Which, circling back to the Western set, that set cares for outlaws, and assassins are outlaws. So you're probably gonna see a lot of cards getting like shared each other's like synergies together. But yeah, let's open the first pack. I believe these might be Japanese prints, so...
How do you know?
Well, the easy way to do is just look at the back of a pack and it'll say. Make a double sheet right here. These ones are made in the US, so they should actually be the right way, so I don't have to actually flip cards over or anything. So...
Is that comfortable? Because I can move the camera too.
Oh, no,
I was trying
to
get it so it's... let me see if you can...
Yeah, so you're going to see a lot of consistent themes showing up. So big ones could be the energy. Energy is kind of doing well with red white at the moment in Modern. Plus, there's made a Just Guy deck, Commander deck that came out. So you can see a lot of energy and also a lot of references things. So if you know,
it's aliens.
So if you know the card Colossal Dreadmaw, this Colossal Dread Mask, it makes something that you equip to it, a Colossal Dreadmaw essentially, which is a very standard dinosaur Then you got to have some artifacts. There's push for heavy of Rakdos artifacts, so black-red artifacts are pretty popular in this. There's already a card that already got preemptively banned in the Pauper format. That's red-black. And then living weapons, kind of like back to the Colossal Dread Mask. It's an old mechanic referring back to Scars of Mirrodin. So got some stuff here. Again, you're going to see a bunch of energy, a lot of outlets you can spend, and then these are interesting land cycle they put in. It kind of has like the functionality of like a simple fetch land, but you also have the cycle ability which you could draw cards off of it. And I can see more of the synergies with energy. It's going to go pretty much in the Jeskai colors, so white, red, blue. It's going to be a lot of fun. And of course, this is the thing everybody's going to be noticing a lot of. It's Eldrazi's. Eldrazi's are pretty strong right now. Some of the big cards in the set are going to be the Eldrazi's. If you haven't really kept up with the set, it's going to be hopefully get one of the big three. Preferably one of them in particular. This card's actually one of my favorite cards from the set because it just it deals with a lot of the problems in the set per se. And so this card lets you counter triggered ability or color spell. Going back to Eldrazi's, which are colorless creatures.
I do know enough about Commander that their entire decks revolved around that keyword. That creature type or whatever.
Yeah, it's a very popular one. It's probably one of the biggest creature types to come out in a long time. Like, you've always had your vampires, dinosaurs.
Elves.
Oh, dinosaurs actually came later, weirdly. Yeah, elves and stuff like that. But Eldrazi's were these big, giant mana sink creatures that you could put on the field that have sometimes immediate impact when you cast them. So even if the card gets countered, the card is still doing an impact on you playing the card before even like it resolves. But Excited Memory, it's a pretty good card because it helps you deal with like all the things. With the replicatability, means you can add more to it. So I think this card is gonna find its place eventually, but it's a pretty strong card. But yeah, this is one of the weird only few cards that care about devotion in all of this whole set. So it's unique. But there's a lot of cards you see paying a lot of references to cards that already exist, or a color swap, or a different take on things. Again, you can see a lot more Eldrazi, and the costs are going to get higher and higher.
Now,
So
there are a lot of reprints in the set, correct? Like, or are these brand new cards?
So the idea, minus the fetch land, so your let's say Meyer, Fledgestrand, and those cards, the only reprints per se are going to be ones that are being injected into the modern format. So if they are a card that already existed and is getting reprinted, they're also going to have the original set symbol behind the text box, which is going to explain that it's like original printing of it. And that just means because they weren't modern legal, now they are modern legal. So the cards that are pre-2002 or 2003, and also cards like that were for Commander sets, which there's going to be some in here. Like for example, right here, first one. So Warren Power Stone was not a modern legal card. It has the Urza Saga logo in the background.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, it's a little like shadow in the back.
Because this has the modern Horizons 3 set symbol, not the Commander symbol. So this means this is now going to be legal and modern now. And there's some cards that definitely affected the play of the format. Big ones being the medallions. So Ruby Medallion more specifically, which was a Tempest card. White Orchid Phantom. This is kind of paying homage to Knight of the White Orchid, which is a pretty much same stat line, but it just has a little bit more additional things. It's a pretty solid rare. I know it's not worth a bunch, but it is a card that's definitely seen its runs being played in different formats and also like Commander. So that's pretty solid. And then of course, referring to like the Planeswalkers, each one of them has their own saga.
So, like sagas, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
sagas
so all the sagas are referring to other Planeswalkers. So it's about Johnny fell to Goldsire. But this one they're pretty neat. I think the Grist one is a pretty fun one. But that's a foil. And of course, energy slash...
You're playing Pokemon? What are you playing?
I know, right? With the energy mechanic, though, it's if you're playing red-white, it's can be very useful, especially they get their likely they're throwing double-sided tokens, even though it's in the play boosters, because it's going to help with the limited in formats and everything, which we had a pretty good turnout for all of our.
Right. I feel
sealed
like they
and-
have to think about stuff like that.
Oh,
like
yeah.
not just command. Even though Commander's arguably the most popular format
Yeah.
currently, like they have to think about
Yeah.
modern, they have to think about expanded, they have to think
Yeah.
about what's the commons and uncommon
Oh,
version.
Pauper. Yeah.
Pauper. Yeah, think about
Yeah.
Pauper, right?
Yeah.
There's like 20 different ways to
Yeah.
play.
Yeah, I mean that's like the benefit and like downside for sets is that they have to, take in consideration everything. Then you also have things like this, which are just primarily like a pseudo joke. It's like brushwags are pretty like kind of fun, tongue-in-cheek characters, but you throw like another mechanic on it, which it's pretty neat. It's nothing amazing, but it's fun. But yeah, you're gonna see a lot of just a little like smatterings of everything. So this could be just a vampire that also has adapt, which is typically not its colors, but you have also some bestow cards, which are pretty fun. There's one that's fairly popular.
That unicorn?
Yeah, it is. It is a
Oh,
unicorn. So bestow being a Theros mechanic originally, but now you're having it with some other additional mechanics like Mentor, which is, I believe, it might have been a Ravnica or it might be thinking Battalion. I can't remember exactly, but it has all the fun things that you would see from different sets kind of combined. Also, I guess if you are a lore nerd, most of the stuff is not canon. This is kind of just like a what if kind of story.
Oh, it's like an alternate reality,
Yeah.
like alternate dimension magic.
Yeah, like you're not. There's some big Eldrazi's that are not canon per se. Those cards actually get some played in, especially in the energy decks, because it lets you just have removal, and it's pretty good because it gives you 3 energy for 1 red mana. And most energy cards are on the slower side of making energy. I always like the fact that there's the Eldrazi in the set, just kind of drastically jump a mana, go from like a 1,
Yeah,
2
they're
mana.
very Elder Tor type of.
Yes, yeah, that goes up to a 5
Yeah.
mana. Most of them have Devoid. These ones, you're probably going to see one of these lands in almost every single pack. It just kind of helps mana fixing and just a normal sealed.
You tap it for what up to 3 different colors? Or
Oh no,
you
so it
pick one?
has you could tap for colorless, or you could tap sacrifice it like for a basic land of. This one cares for plains, swamps, and forests. That'll be Abazan. So you can search for Abazan cards.
Okay, so it helps to filter lands.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same one, but this one's for Naya colors. This card's actually not that bad of a card. So whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under control, proliferate. Proliferate's pretty strong, especially with a lot of people that do like Planeswalker decks, because it gives you the ability to up those loyalty counters before you use it. So as long as you're playing a lot of non-token creatures, aka like if you have like a Shrieking Drake, if you're playing like Shrieking Drake with this, lets you essentially for 1 blue mana keep flickering, playing the card over and over again, and just get a whole bunch of counters. And you could talk about a Jace. You could like, oh, I'm a Jace Mind Sculptor. I'll just do his ultimate ability, turn 5. Like that doesn't sound fair. You got some more Umbra cards, which is referring back to like Zendikar. Again, you're gonna see a whole bunch of different things like harkening back to other things. This is paying homage to the third release of Zendikar, which has these flip side cards. So it's gonna have this and the flips over to a land.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so they have double-sided cards as well as another ones. This was one of the cards that was originally a commander card that got moved into Modern Legal. It's pretty interesting. Right now, it's kind of deciding like if this could get played. This probably would fit more in like a Rakdos Affinity deck because it also has the ability for mana. And of course, you have these characters that I'm not entirely sure where this is from. It's a angel
Elder Demon.
demon, yeah, but it has like angel wings and stuff like that. There's also some, hopefully we'll see some, most likely you'll see them in the collector boosters. Almost all the legendary creatures in the set have a side profile picture of them, which is pretty neat. Well, then your foil was also, and a basic land. So, that's pretty neat.
No,
Okay.
I'll have you know that I played Commander for the first time a
Okay.
couple weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
The last time I had played it, it was called EDH.
Yeah.
So it had been like 10 years, I think, since I played it.
Yeah.
I had a really good time though. It was a 6 free for all, and I could see the fun chemistry of
Yeah.
like someone starts to do something, and then you all have to switch to focus on it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then you start doing something, they all switch to
Yeah.
focus you. So there's a lot of like ring around the rosy in terms of like targeting players.
Oh yeah.
One player was doing like this Yu-Gi-Oh thing where he had to have like 5 different pieces of a character card in play, and he got to do something
okay.
huge. I forget what it was.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's some of the bins. Yeah. Is it Dark Eldar, right? Ogres. Do you want to
What's up, dude?
you want to
no
look
problem.
put the boxes on the counter?
Good.
and
Did
have a look through it?
you left
There's so much
right?
of it.
We're streaming, so I'm
Yeah.
like I'm all bullshitting while I'm talking. That's okay.
Yeah.
Did you? Where are you now?
I'm at the county now.
Oh, nice. Is it better?
So much better here. Yeah, no, it's so much nicer to have like a full grown-up job.
I bet you. Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. Yeah. So, did you used to work at New
Right.
Release?
Right.
Oh, okay.
That's how I know him. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought you worked at New Release for a bit, didn't you?
I don't know. He's a pharmacist for a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, back
Sorry,
to,
we're live at the gaming store, and like live.
We have
He's
a-
getting asked questions about miniatures, about what he
Yeah.
decided.
Yeah, we have a lot of different.
You were the acting
groups.
manager
Yeah,
currently,
yeah,
so
yeah.
like.
Yeah. Also, another cool thing about this set is that there's a lot of cool, just different arts. Some older Magic artists have shown up for things. So like the art could definitely vary from looking like original arts to some newer things. This card's actually another really solid card. It's getting a decent amount of play. In addition to casting this card, sacrifice creature. You could
So you pay 2, sacrifice a creature, and then
you draw 2 cards,
ah,
and then you
okay,
can
card
flash
draw.
them back later.
Card draw,
Yeah, which is pretty good in black.
and you pay more to use it from your graveyard
Yeah,
later.
yeah, which gives you that double effect, which is pretty good. Thirbian Charm is pretty neat. It's cards with a lot of options are always gonna be good.
I remember they had like Dawn charms. Like every color, one set had like all these different, had
Yeah.
each their own unique charm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, one of these cards. This one has a lot of text on it, but pretty much to be able to exile cards to top your deck. You can make some scions. You can do stuff with those cards. It's very word heavy, but it's
Well,
pretty.
it's like a Yu-Gi-Oh card, man.
Yeah. Yes.
It's Yu-Gi-Oh text
Yeah.
level of cards.
But then, of course, these lands we've been seeing. Of course, Simic, Eldrazi's are going to be more prominent in this. And then, of course, more energy cards. Again, out of color. So, energy is primarily a Keldesh set mechanic. But this is a character from Dragon's Shark here. So, it's like you're taking characters from different sets, giving mechanics from different sets. So, it's like definitely a weird like marriage of just a whole bunch of mechanics.
Now, of all the Modern Horizon sets, is that the same thing? They're like, what if, and they have all the sets been that way?
It definitely is catered more towards that. There's like things like introduction of some new characters, like past tellings of characters. Like some of the stuff is like canonical, like in the sense of like these Planeswalkers, they did become these characters, and this is like kind of representation of them. But yeah, there's a lot of things like, what if this ability was on this card from this set
Oh, okay.
with like that?
Yeah, that's just mean the what if, yeah.
Yeah. So again, this is like a pretty unique card that has a low crew cost. And you can easily make the save really big. I've seen people do a lot of damage with this card inside of limited. Again, you have a card that, again, this is like a Zendikar card. This is a flip card, but it also is a Ravnica character. It even has like a Ravnica landscape.
Oh, I love Ravnica. It's my favorite
Yeah,
set.
so it has all the Ravnica stuff. I think it has some Boros symbols everywhere, and these are of course Boros Legionnaires. Even have like references it, but again, like the what if like kind of crossover thing. This card is also a downshifted card. This used to be rare, but it was also a commander card. It's pretty unique. This card's actually a really good
Oh, wow,
card.
it's got the classic style too, right? What do
Yeah,
they
so
call it?
yeah, retro frames is what they've been calling it. Even though for me, I remember when Magic just looked like this. So I don't know what it says about me. These cards are really cool. So there's a whole run of these flares. So this red one's a pretty good one.
Oh, they do like a red flare, green flare, blue flare.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So all of them are really playable. This one's pretty good. especially in red. So I've seen people run this as especially a sideboard card. You can either pay 3, and if you just ignore the top part and just go to the second part, you pay 3, copy target instant or sorcery, and you may choose a new target for it. So something like lightning bolts you in red, you could pay 3, put it back in them. Or you have the alternative costs of sacrificing a non-token red creature. So if you're playing, let's say, like some goblins or some like very aggressive cards, so it's like, I'm going to lightning bolt you. Like, actually, I'm going to sacrifice a 1/1, my 2/1 creature, to cast this and have you lightning bolt yourself. It's pretty solid, especially in like an aggro deck where somebody's going to target you with something. You could just hit them back with it. So this card is pretty playable. Another, this is downshifted and also is made modern legal. Let's get some like interesting.
Oh wow, it's like a foil. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's our foil.
Yeah, yeah, and also you have these 4 lands.
Oh, you like the foil lands? Yeah.
Yeah, so all these ones are going to have one of the big Eldrazi's in the back of it. So it's going to be like, okay, and then you notice there's a, a 500-foot tall creature in the background. So it's, and most of the landscapes also be kind of torn up too, because they are very destructive. Though this is funny, because this is a...
Parasitic worm?
It's a Phyrexian worm. So,
Phyrexian worm.
So there was this thing called Wormcoil Engine, which would originally be one of the first cards to have like, there's a lifelink and a death touch version. This is like the baby Wormcoil Engine. So instead of being a 3/3 lifelink, it's a 2/1 lifelink, and the other one I think it's a 1/2 death touch. But yeah, these cards are pretty solid. I think they're fun.
I feel like there's something a little bit for everyone, no matter what version of Magic you play, and that's why it's such a spicy set, right?
Yes, there's like, again, we keep finding new things, and of course they have cards you might think it's like an unset. It's called Foul Strike. So somebody literally punching the eyes of a buzzard. It's interesting. Luckily, again, the art from the set kind of varies everywhere. There's also some things too. They're like not the best removal, but they're good for limited. This is also like for people that are doing seals and drafts.
Oh yeah, seals. Yeah, there's so many ways to play.
Yes,
there's so many ways.
Yes, and so it feels like a daunting task for anybody in the creative like team for Magic the Gathering, primarily because there's just so much they have to take into consideration. Like, well, this common could be this, but we don't make it stronger than the previous common from this set that does get play, but we also have to make sure people want to actually pick it in a draft. So that's before you even like leave the draft and you have like...
I interviewed one of the designers of the Assassin's Creed set at December Games Fest, and like he didn't say this, I'm speculating, but I'm sure they have like proprietary software where they plug in a card and it scans all the other cards to see how it works with the other cards. If there's any kind of loophole with a card, okay, we can't have it be a +2, it's got to be a +1 because with this card it does this.
Oh, trust me.
But before then, they probably had to do it pen and paper.
Yeah.
Like before the computer era.
Yeah.
10, 15 years ago, you know?
Oh, yeah. Like, even for me, when people ask me, like, do you know about this card that does this? I'm like, I have like 7 cards vaguely to do
Yeah, they
that.
kind of do
like,
that. I mean, it's slightly varied. I don't know.
And then eventually I go through and like, oh, yes, this is exactly what you're talking about. This card's actually a really solid card.
It's a common, too, for a common.
Yeah, so essentially it's going to be a 2-mana 3/3 Vigilance, minimal. But if you play this like in a deck that cares for like upping your 1/1 counters, like let's say Hardened Skulls, you play this in a Hardened Skulls deck, this is a 2-mana 4/4 with Vigilance.
Yeah, the one thing I realized in that one game I played a Commander that lasted 4 hours was that like Vigilance is huge in that format. I'm attacking and you don't tap.
Yep. It's also another Vigilance card too.
Yeah, that's such a good
7 mana,
ability.
7/7. Yeah, when you cast or cycle this card, you create a little token that you can sacrifice and get colorless mana.
You know, you'll appreciate this. When we were doing a demo of the new Assassin's Creed set, and I kept on playing Lorcana rules. I was like, oh, I take 3 damage. He's like, no damage falls off. I was like, right, it does. They regenerate.
Yeah.
Forgot. Like,
Yeah.
I played that stupid game so long. I forgot how the basic standard Magic rules apply.
No, yeah, no, trust me. I've played a plethora of different games. And
I can't imagine what it's like going from One Piece to Magic, because I'm sure it's
Oh yeah, there's some games like even like from this to like watch people play Star Wars Unlimited and stuff like that, where there's just different zones. Yu-Gi-Oh is also one of them, but there's so.
Oh yeah, the trap zone.
Yeah,
like, yeah.
Yeah, but luckily Magic is very open like the fields are very interpretative of like how like, oh, this is where I keep my counters on my person.
Yeah, it's
put my
very,
planeswalkers.
very like riding a bike. You get into
Yeah.
it quickly, back in.
Yeah. And of course, you have fun creature types like a salamander drake.
Oh, sick.
That's a artifact creature, so it's a robotic salamander drake.
They're they like their tentacles in this set, is what I'm
Yes,
realizing. It's
yes.
a very tentacle heavy set.
Yeah, this is again, that kind of helps with the whole Eldrazi thing.
Yeah.
There are definitely like some like HP Lovecraft like Cthulhian type creatures. This card's actually a really good card.
In what format?
In just everything.
Everything?
So it's a 1-mana card that when you play it, or no, when you play it, when it's on the field, players that cast spells, if they don't spend mana, kind of like the Flare. If you sacrifice a creature, you're not paying mana for it. You counter it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So they have to pay mana for it. They
So
have
like
to pay
if it's getting a lot of playing like Legacy, and then also and
Does it? Do you discard that when it's done, or does it stay
no,
on the
it
table?
just stays on it. But
Oh, wow.
you could it says each player, so it counts you too. But
Oh,
luckily,
okay, so that's the
luckily you have the ability of paying 1 mana, tap, sacrifice, and draw a card, and it's on the table. So you pay 1 mana, draw a card, and you get to kind of bypass it.
If you need to play something without
Yeah,
hitting, okay.
for free. Like, oh, I'm gonna do this. Well, in response to that, I'm gonna sacrifice this on my card. After it resolves, then I'm gonna counter your spell for free. So it's pretty good. So this card's actually very solid.
Hey, nice little dragon.
Yeah, it's an upshift from Judgment. Not upshift. It's made legal from Judgment. This one's pretty much there to be as a good like draft card essentially.
Now, when you say made legal, does that mean that did they change anything in the card, or they just reprinted it so now it's legal?
It's reprinted. Yeah. So certain sets like there's the premium set or premier sets, which would be like your standard sets.
Right, because
so,
you get cut at a certain time, you get cut off, right? It becomes extended, right? It's modern extended, right? After
yeah, there's a lot of formats, but pretty much. So this card in Judgment, I think it's like in the late '90s or.
Oh wow! So it's a reprint. Okay,
yeah,
got it.
it's a reprint, and so they made it legal. So it's just interjecting it into.
Wasn't sure if they like changed the wording to make it legal or make it not broken.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like black. Black and blue, my colors.
This card's very interesting, and it has a lot of like potential to play to grow. As people right now with like the new release of the set for different formats, people are getting like the surface level things. People see the things that are immediately in their face. Hopefully, we'll see another good rare that's really prominent in a lot of formats. If you get that one, definitely clip that, and I'll explain why. Hopefully, it's a rare.
How long does it take generally for players to discover like the intricacies of a set? Like a few months?
Maybe it matters from what format to what format. There's cards that definitely have like shot up due to the fact that
What's this one? Did I just write this?
so this
Did I just write this?
so
Whatever.
so this is so like you saw those double-sided cards.
Yeah.
So you ran the top side of the card there and the bottom of the card there, because the back of it is a magic card. So you could either play it unsleeved in your deck if you don't like using sleeves, or if your sleeves are very like transparent. If you put a double-sided card in it, you could see it and that'd be cheating. So this is to help get past like things. You just fill in what it does, kind of brief description what it does.
Oh, okay, so you can,
and you can slot
options.
it in your deck.
Got it.
So you could then also, it's annoying slipping out your sleeved card back over.
Back
Oh,
over.
somebody destroys it. Okay, slip back over.
You have like a sideboard, you just pull it from.
Yeah,
If you pull
so-
it. Okay.
I think luckily you've hit almost all the card types and everything, so a few packs will hopefully go by quicker. Again, you're gonna see just a lot of Eldrazi stuff. Again, almost all these cards are making spawns, which you just sacrifice to make colorless mana, which helps you cast those 8, 9, 10, 11 drop cards. Not on turn 8, 9, 10, or 11, on like 4, 5, and 6. Those cards are pretty good cards. There's a lot of solid like commons and commons in the set that getting a lot of play. That's getting decent amount of popper play at the moment. Weirdly enough, I have not seen any Richard Caden Ferguson art. He did like 7 different arts in this set.
Excuse me.
You got kicker costs. This one's pretty simple. And then you have like this is a very energy heavy card. Again, you can see primarily energy red, white, and blue. Then there's some weird cards where they do black and stuff like that. And there's all 10 land these cycles.
None of those lands, cycle
Yeah.
lands, or what do you call them? Cycle lands, or
Yeah, so they have they're taking a lot of ideas from different sets, so they kind of pay homage to the Alara block with like these lands that can fetch for things, but also has a sack ability from like Alara. and some other things. So it's pretty neat. This one's going to be a thing that uses some energy, but it's really cheap. So it's 1 mana, exile target non-land permanent opponent controls, but it has like a count on it. But if you're playing energy consistently, this thing at least sticks around for 2 turns after you play it, if you don't use any of your energy. But it's a good just spot removal. Again, another card. Pay 6 energy, drop 3 cards if you tap this. So again, energy is going to be very consistent. Then of course you have different takes. So instead of siege gain commander, you have spawn gain commanders. So it makes little
Goblins?
Eldrazi spawns.
Oh, yeah, I see. Okay.
But it's so sweet because siege gain commander, it does almost pretty much the same card, like word for word, but instead of making goblins, you're making Eldrazi tokens, and instead of like paying red, you're paying colorless. So it's like a idea shift of it. So it's pretty neat. Then you got some flip cards. Ooh. These cards are pretty cool. So the pay 3 life to have it interplay on tap. It's kind of like the shock land, but it was introduced with these cards were kind of introduced with Zendikar, but they're usually attached to mythics. And you have Jet Medallion, which is a really played card at the moment, especially if we play Crick in Commander. Just makes your black spells 1 less mana. Generic mana less. Crick likes it primarily because you could pay 2 life instead of paying black. So if you reduce the colorless cost of it, and you can pay life for the other parts, it lets you cast black cards over almost free. You're just like, oh, it pays 4 life. And
You have a lot of life in Commander,
Yeah.
too, so...
Yeah. This card's unique. This card cares a lot for X cost cards, which luckily green and red has a bunch of X cost cards.
See, he can be Commander, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay, a little say. That's funny. You've yet to see this card. It's a signed version of it, but this card was the one card that got banned out of Pauper preemptively because it was really strong.
It's just a common?
Yes, yeah. Of course, it doesn't say with the card that's on because it's just the art version of it, but it is a pretty decent one. Because funny enough, they banned a card that was very similar to it beforehand, and that one's slightly better than that card that got banned, so it got pretty quickly banned. Of course, you got Bestow and Hydras. This card is kind of overly costed, but again, it's really good for if you're doing limited. Again, more energy cards. There'll be abundant of them. You can see back-to-back energy cards. They definitely went a little heavier on the energy. It's like energy and Eldrazi.
Well, what other energy sets is that mechanic in? What other...
Only one other block.
Yeah, that's probably why, yeah.
And I think that was only a 2-card block. I think it was, Kaladesh and Aether Revolt.
Yeah, so they're trying to bring it back a little bit for the people who like that mechanic.
Even, here there is. Yeah, so Cranial.
Hey!
This card is a 2-mana living weapon, so it comes into play as a creature, or a 0/0 creature attached to it. And this gets plus X+1 for X is the number of artifacts you control. So by itself, minimum for 2 mana, it's going to be a 1/1. But realistically,
As you build it up and put more artifacts on the table, okay.
yeah, it's going to get absurdly strong. I think we're going to most likely see all the land cycle here. This card's pretty simple.
Blue black.
Yeah, it's a horror. Horrors do pretty well in the blue black decks, especially I think Umbrisk is one that cares for horrors. Again, just kind of a typical buff spell with the overload mechanic, which was a Ravnica mechanic. It's pretty solid. This card's actually really good. I even ended up throwing in a couple of my decks that I have. Either you enters make a 1/1 servo token, or you put a 1/1 counter on whenever this creature. So you either put 1 counter on this, or you make a token. And then whenever a creature or artifact leaves the battlefield, each opponent loses life. So it's kind of like a pseudo. Has some ideas of like.
If you're ahead of life on your
artists.
opponent's side, he's got to play more carefully.
Yeah, then you got a Theros card with the flip mechanics. Annoyed Allosaur. it's a very common. I think it was uncommon, but yeah, it got shifted for Cascade. Disrupting Flute is pretty unique. Things that kind of just hinder your opponent. People like, and of course you got the new Snow-Covered Waste. It's a nobody knows exactly the
Oh, that's a great art though.
purpose that kind of really serves, but it gives you another option for color stacks to make a snow color.
It could be fun too, just
Yeah.
fun card.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
put it in the good pile, so I mean,
yeah.
like obviously
Yeah.
it's
It's definitely a unique card that like not many people really. I'm waiting to see until somebody like finds some really like busted mechanics. They like, oh, it's a snow permanent, so you can do this. But this card is absurd of what it does for 1 mana for a common. So it's 1 green instant, put a 1/1 counter on a creature. Also, you put a reach counter on that creature. Also, you put a death touch counter on that creature, and you untap the creature. So if you had like a simple 1/1 and someone attacks you, like with flying, like, oh, here's my 7/7 flying. Okay, I'm going to pay 1 green mana. I'm going to tap it, make it stronger, and it's also going to be death touch and reach, so it can block your flying. It's a lot going on for a 1 mana common. You got more living weapon cards. Umbras are pretty, again, we're introducing Zendikar. There's a lot of weird, like, a bunch of Zendikar reference cards, which makes sense because the Eldrazi were introducing Zendikar. This is like the 4th ever made legendary common. All of them being in rares, red.
Wait, so like what does that do to the economy when they do that to a card?
Unfortunately, this card it's kind of unique. Rarity kind of suggests like a power level.
Or like
So-
limit like how much you're in
Yeah.
the game or how often you
Yeah.
pull it, how many are in the cycle,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So it's fun. I would say it does a lot for a common. That's what's probably gave it the legendary keyword. But it's primarily it's a fun idea. It's like the last time I think they made a legendary common was back in like Homelands era, so like 96, 95 era. So it's been a while. You got more energy cards. All these energy cards, pretty much, most of these make X amount of energy, and then you can spend energy to gain a special ability. Let's see when you play cast a creature. Oh yeah. Well, so this has like kind of like pseudo white orchid mechanics where white definitely doesn't accelerate you. It has a lot of catch up mechanics for getting your lands caught up to your opponents. So this kind of does that. Zombie army existed. There's Raul's Saga, which kind
Oh,
of
cool art. I like the
Yeah.
purple and the blue.
yeah, which is fitting because he's a red-blue character, so the purple is very associated with him. Outlast is a weird mechanic. Not many people use it. It's fun. The whole modified thing is the more relevant thing on it. It's a modified creatures have lifelink, so
Oh, Lifelink's huge in Commander.
this card is actually a really good reprint. So this was uncommon, I think, originally printed in Mirage, the Odyssey. And this card gets a lot of play in like a lot of competitive like Commander, because essentially as long as you have more than 7 cards in your graveyard, you get pay blue mana, tap sacrifices, draw 3 cards, and then you discard 3 cards. But if you're trying to fill your graveyard up with cards, it definitely helps a lot. So this card gets a lot of play.
Oh, you thought about it for a minute. You're like, yeah, I'm common.
Yeah. There's some comments that I know, but this one it's definitely tanked the value. The reason why this card was like so many dollars because it never got a reprint, or it did get a reprint like in a special.
And then it goes down to like $3 because
Yeah.
it's an uncommon. Yeah, for those of you off camera, it's fun because Cody is like organizing them by
Oh, yeah.
like, I say good or bad in quotes, right? Good cards like
Yeah.
it's in one pile, and then not so good cards or more common cards in another pile. So
Yeah.
I like watching when he determines. And that was like he was like, no,
Yeah.
maybe no, not today.
Yeah, I try to preemptively sort the cards so there isn't like too much.
Yeah. So you just it's easier. It's also cool to look at the end of
Yeah.
the stream to how much we've pulled. That was good,
Yeah.
quote good, because there are good cards. There's just more of them, right? That's
Yeah.
the only thing.
Yeah. Like there's definitely I've seen plenty of commons and uncommons which we just haven't got much of, and or they're very popular here and people just kind of pick them up, so we don't have much.
I just enjoy the psychology of you
Yeah.
looking at a card being like, that's
Oh,
a good
yeah.
card, and then placing it to the right, or put it in front of you for, it's okay. I just think that's kind of cool. I think a lot of people do that when they open packs too at their desk at home or whatever. Good card, good card, good card. Bad card, bad card, bad card.
Yeah.
Or
Luckily, right now we're seeing a lot
binder box,
Yeah.
box, that kind of thing.
Yeah, seeing a lot more duplicates now. A lot of these Eldrazi's pretty easy to identify. Those cards are unique ones. Whenever you cast a creature that costs 4, 5, 6, you create 2 spawns. Maybe cost one that costs 7 or more. You draw 3 cards. So it's a cool enchantment that lets you either get rammed to cast your bigger cards, or it just draws you cards for playing.
Also hard to get rid of. I think is green one of the only colors you can get rid of enchantments.
It's one of the more
Difficult.
common ones.
I know it's difficult. I think white has some too,
Yeah.
but it's just like it's green and white. I think are the 2 colors that I see it mainly in.
Yeah, a lot of cards like usually most colors have some means of doing with everything, but more times green's more known for enchantment, artifact removal, and then like white's more just exiling something from the table. Red's trying to burn it down to the.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, red has some too. I guess there are some, but I mean, I feel like they're
Yeah.
really difficult in Commander when you can only have one of that card. It's
Oh
difficult.
yeah. Oh yeah. No, trust me. There's a card called Feed the Swarm that is one of the few ways black can destroy enchantments. That card is heavily played, and it's not the best costed for what it does, but it's played because you don't have many options.
Yeah,
for
that's
it.
the only option in your color. Hey, Squires, what's up, man? Yeah, we're doing an unboxing of Modern Horizons 3.
Yeah. Deep Analysis is good. Very played popper card, even though it's uncommon here, but it was originally common. Pretty good. Emperor Bones, really played card. This has a lot of stuff going on with it, but essentially it does stuff with like people's graveyards and recurs cards from the graveyards, and does a lot for being just even a 2/2 for 2 that you can make a 4/4 for 2 additional mana. It's pretty solid. It lets you do a lot of things. The only thing I find funny is a Skeleton Noble called Emperor Bones, but it's a non-legendary.
So he can't be a commander, right?
Yeah, but
Would he be a good commander?
if he could, if he was a legendary creature, you could probably make it a little more. There's a lot you could work off of it.
Oh wow, yeah, I see. Yeah, wow, that would be very, very powerful. I'm sure that's done on purpose.
Oh yeah, well this series of cards. It goes from a fish to a.
It says whale, but that's
but it goes from a fish to a shark, or no, eel to a fish to a whale. So there's 2 other tokens before this. Is when this token is destroyed or removed, or when it dies. Oh yeah, so this is the second one. So it goes fish, which is a 3/3 fish, into the 6/6 whale, and when this dies, it turns into a 9/9 kraken. It's like, as you kind of see it looming in the background.
Oh,
is the
okay,
kraken.
I see it.
And
Okay.
this is the fish there, so all 3 of the arts are kind of like represented. It's a unique card that was introduced in like a commander set. But let's see. This is kind of the take on Serum Visions, but Serum Visionaries on a creature. If you know what Serum Visions is, say on a stick. Again, more Eldrazi cards that kind of make you more tokens. Gravedigg is referring to like another card. This character, I think a non-named character, has been put in art for about 20-something years.
He's just using all the the return graveyard from your hand stuff.
Yeah. This is another energy card that lets you return artifacts, creatures. Another energy card. So pretty much you can see a lot of these cards. They don't do amazing things, but you would just run it in there to kind of just generate that energy for you. This card's not bad. This card costs 1 less for each card you've drawn this turn. And you get to return stuff. So if you do like a brainstorm from blue mana, you draw 3, so it makes this 1 mana. So it's a lot of cool things there. Some blue-black fairies. Has some return. So it's like has some pseudo recursion in it. Planar Genesis is actually a really good card for uncommon. You look top 4 cards of your library. You put a land from amongst them into the battlefield tapped. If you don't, put a card from them in your hand and put the rest at the bottom. So it's 2 mana instant. You could just either ramp up or put a card in your hand. So as that.
Either or those options, right? Those
Yeah.
available options are always good.
Yeah. Again,
We talk about value,
Yeah,
right? We talk
value.
about table value.
Yeah. So this can go with the Rakdos artifacts. This is
Oh, nice. Another.
so it's normally you not really paying 7 for a 5/5 flying in this, because in Pauper and stuff like that, you could play artifact lands, stuff like this, reduce the cost of it. So you like turn 3, you could probably cast this for like 3 mana or less for a 5/5 flying. It's pretty good. It's like some fire breathing mechanics. Again, more double-sided cards. Ooh, crick, there he is. This one is cool because it has 2 color types on the back of it.
Oh yeah, see that's cool.
So
Yeah.
it's more mana fixing, which is good for limited. So this card originally came out in a commander deck with the commander symbol right there.
Oh wow.
He's played in like there's some competitive commander decks that run this. So he has a lot of Phyrexian mana everywhere, and Phyrexian mana symbols can either be played with the 1 black mana or cost of 2 life. So you can either pay 7 mana for it or pay 4
that was
mana.
that land we saw
Yeah.
earlier. Yeah.
Yeah. You can pay 4 mana and 6 life to get him out earlier. Then all your abilities, so each black mana symbol on cards can be played with 2 life instead. Then whenever you cast a black spell, you put a 1/1 counter on him. He's bigger. He also has lifelink, so like you pay all this life, play all these black cards. He becomes very large, and then you can do stuff, especially with like the Jet Medallion, so you can get him out earlier. There's all these cool things. So this really can be explosive, and you just need to find like the right deck. And Modern, unfortunately, do have less life. You only have 20 life compared to Commander, where you have that.
Oh, we got 2 rares.
Yeah.
Oh, we got that's our random one, right? That's
Yeah.
our random that we. That one was the front one was our random. That's our standard, right?
Yeah. So Devour. This card's actually pretty playable. Again, Eldrazi cards, high mana cost, high stats. But when you play this, you may reveal a card. So this is in your opening hand. You reveal it. If you do, then you look at the top 4 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand, and exile the rest. You may cast a spell, exile target permanent that has 1 or more colors. So these are kind of paying homage to in Scars of Mirrodin. There was these things called Chancellors. They all had a thing with their opening hand. They're really high cost cards, but you reveal it, and it did something. This one gives you the added bonus that you, after you keep the hand, if you after let's say like Mulligan, okay, you just reveal it, show them that you have the card, and then when you flip it, show it, then you just can look so far deep in your deck.
What up, dude?
Yeah.
Josh wants to know if you can buy another box of set 2 Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
Is it in the back?
Yeah. And you should also have like 305 in credit if I haven't added it already.
And then how much is the box? Is there a discount?
No discount. Yeah.
Not on the Star Wars.
Yeah.
Too new, right?
Yes.
Nice. Oh, nice land. I always like the lands art on this stuff too.
But luckily now.
Now we're starting to get a little faster. It's
Yeah.
always slow the first 10
Yeah.
packs or so. And you get what, 32 packs in these boxes?
36 packs.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. Every other trading card game is definitely slower. But yeah. Luckily now.
I feel so gypped with Larcana now. Like they're
Yeah.
24, and I'm like, wait a minute, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
I think, but they think they are more expensive, and these
Yeah.
ones are more expensive to buy.
Yeah. Well, this is a very premium set.
Yeah, people were like when they were doing the card reveals. Like I'm not even part of that community, and I was seeing it on the social media discourse about
yeah.
like, oh my god, this cards in this game is going to change Commander
Yeah.
so much, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. There's Tamu's Saga.
Saga introduced in Lord of the Rings, right? Was that when they were introduced?
Sagas were introduced in original Dominaria, so like 2018, I think. They threw the word, what's the word? Historic. So historic spells are going to be sagas, even though they're not legendary permanents, but they count as like a legend for intents purposes, and artifacts. So the mechanic saga came into play there, and also the historic keyword kind of came into play. The retro frame version was good, pretty solid. here's the worm. So yeah, so this worm is it's a worm that creates a 3/3 fish. And that fish dies, you make a 6/6
Evolution.
well.
Oh, I get it. All right.
And you can
yeah.
see the fish back there. Then after you see the fish token, you see the well, then
Clever.
yeah.
Ooh.
This card's definitely one of the more interesting.
I just like the art. I'm oohing at the art. The art is nice.
Oh yeah, and there's also boardless. There's a lot of boardless cards, but you could probably see more in the collector boosters.
They do the full art weird
Yes. Yeah.
Japanese anime ones.
Not in this one, but they do definitely have full art cards.
What are your thoughts like when they do those cards, but they're only available in like one region, like Japan, for example? They're like, oh, you can get these rare cards, but they're only available in the Japan set. Does that cause like a ruckus in the community? Do they get upset about it, or?
Luckily, whenever they do that, they do make it more available to audiences like us of like stores we were able to order. Like the big one was like they did was back in 2020. There's a site called Ikoria. They had a Japanese exclusive versions of cards, but we even have some currently in the store right now of that Japanese set. But yeah, no, it's here and there. Luckily, they don't make it too exclusive because fortunately, I think the American release cards have a little bit more exclusivities with like, for example, being I think the One Ring was only able to be pulled out of an English printed sets with like I think collectors.
It's funny because it was pulled in Canada.
Yeah, but look, believe it or not, I think they speak English.
And French.
And French, yes.
Shout out to you, Bill. Bill's our resident Canadian.
Awesome. Yeah, you're gonna see a lot of this card. This card's again another 1 blue mana draw card, but this one gives you energy. Yeah, Jund. This is the most like Boros
Not seeing
card.
a lot of shock lands. I'm not seeing a lot of dual lands.
You have
You
have not seen a single fetch land, which is
not seeing fetch lands. I mean, I'm sure they have the set, but like I know those are popular because they filter your deck well.
This is like kind of a Lorwyn card. Lorwyn was the first set to introduce Planeswalkers. Pretty cool. Also has the
The dual art.
Yeah.
Rad.
Junk Diver. This card's actually very playable. This card is actually, I think it's like, this would be like considered like people would be happy to pull this card. This card's very playable. And it's play tapped unless you control force, which is pretty easy, especially if you're playing in the modern where you have fetches and shocks that kind of help you fix that. Then also if you have Delirium, you pay 4, and this becomes a copy of a permanent in your graveyard.
Oh damn! Okay,
Yeah.
I could see that getting wonky in
Yes,
in Commander for
it
sure.
could really mean. This card's a pretty good hit. And that's cool. You also got a foil version of Eldrazi, which now you can see the Eldrazi a little bit better. And, fortunately, I don't think you'll be able to find any of the Commander cards in this, but the collector boosters you'll find plenty of the Commander cards.
They do that on purpose, I'm sure,
Yeah.
right? That's
Yeah. It also wouldn't be that great in a limited format, like you're doing a draft or so, and like
Someone
your
gets a commander.
Your commander costs 3 less. Like, cool, you don't have a commander because you're not allowed to have a commander in sealed and limited, so it won't do much.
Draft is my wife's favorite format as well,
Yeah.
just in general.
You see a lot of duplicates now. Of course, just this card again. It's absurd for 1 green mana what all the things it does.
Value.
Yeah, it's definitely So it does like more value than like even like I feel like a rare would do for that much mana, but it's a common. So again, this definitely has a higher power level in comparatively to other sets. That's being more of a premium set. That's cool. Another snow-covered waves. This one just destroys land. If the player may search the deck for a basic land, put it in play. Creatures without flying can't block this turn. So it's pretty unique. Priest Titania, a pretty good elf card, which can make elves definitely more playable in modern, which they're already kind of playable in a certain sense. But I'm excited to see how this goes. It's also being Rebecca Gay, which they haven't really done much art for her. This card's pretty goofy. It definitely makes the field more unique because you have to put a whole bunch of copy tokens because this has Storm for each spell cast this turn. You create a copy of it, and it chants creatures. It makes them become 1/1 frogs with no abilities. Ooh, that's a big hit right here. So before I clip this is one of the biggest cards you can hit in the set. And it's Oolong the Defiler.
Ooh,
This
yeah,
ca-
I've heard of that card. I mean, I see. I'm not even in the economy, and I know that
Yeah.
that card, the
So,
magic scene, and I know
10
that
mana,
card's
7/7. Doesn't look that great, but with it being one of the most expensive cards in the set, there's probably a reason why behind it. So when you cast this card, target opponent exiles half their library, rounded up. So you
Dude,
so,
yes.
so you just remove half their library from just casting it.
Yes.
Then that's a first ability. It has 4. The second one has ward. To target with any spells or abilities, to even target, you have to sacrifice 2 of your permanents to even target with
So
anything.
it's a land, that's an enchantment, that's an artifact, that's a creature, anything that's on the board. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the second ability. The third ability is when it enters the battlefield, it enters with 1/1 counters on it equal to the highest mana value card exiled with its first ability. So, let's say you hit a 7 mana cost card. This would enter with 7 1/1 counters, making it a 14/14.
Oh wow.
Then the last one, it has Annihilator X, where X is the number 1 with counters on it. So if you happen to have 7 counters on it, Annihilator X being 7, when it attacks your opponent, before they can do anything for blocks, they have to sacrifice 7 permanents.
Okay, so it's a really good commander card.
Yeah, very good everything.
It's good standard too.
It's not standard legal, but it is modern legal. It is legacy legal. It is probably
That's
some
wild.
other form.
It's a mythic too, right?
Yeah,
it's mythic.
it's like one of the best cards in the set.
So is that our mythic in the box that we get?
No, there'll be more mythics.
Okay.
Like,
because I always get confused because I remember back then, like I remember this was a while ago. I'm super old, so like
Yeah.
I remember we talked about this on the show too. Like you used to be guaranteed whatever in a case or a box, and
So-
then that's gone now, right? They made that very
yeah.
weird.
So yeah, knowing that you hit the Ulamog, that's technically like the best card you get in the set. So now anything else is kind of just going to be like,
Can I look at the art?
oh yeah,
Is he Eldrazi?
yes, he's so talking about what I was saying, alluding to earlier, these different storylines. So technically, he's canonically dead. Chandra,
But
like
what if?
blew his head up, and this is like the strongest like version of him. Although Eldrazi's are strong, and there's also another one. If we get Emrakul, she's going to also be pretty.
He sounds like a Lord of the Rings brother. Ulamog the Defiler.
Yeah, it's pretty mid. But yeah, it's a pretty solid hit on the Ulamog. We're getting back to the commons and the commons we've seen. Yeah, it's like definitely playing because there's also other versions of it. But yeah, it being
Oh, let's get you back up to OBS so you can see what you're actually doing.
Oh, yeah,
There'll
yeah.
be a delay and you'll be like, why am I not moving? There we go.
I suppose it's but yeah, we're just seeing a lot more of the same.
Yeah,
commons.
we're starting to get the
Yeah.
commons and uncommon.
This card's
in there.
actually a really solid card for uncommon. The fact that it's a really good sideboard card for, like, let's say, if you're doing like burn. Normally, it's not great. It's a 3 mana deals 4 damage to any target, but it costs 2 less if your opponent controls any permanent on their field that costs 2 or more mana,
Right.
or 2 different color mana. So if you're going against, let's say, Zoo Domain, this is a 1 mana 4 damage, which is a 1 mana 4 damage lightning bolt. It's pretty good, and it's instant.
Burn is popular. It's still popular
Yeah.
in modern, I would guess too.
Yeah. The Hunger Tide Rises. This is Grist, and makes a whole bunch of tokens. She's in the set. She's a pretty cool card. Thanks to this. This is also another card. This card is definitely played in Commander. Has a lot of cool abilities. This was made legal into Modern, so I'm willing to say this card probably can get a good play in a deck. It just has to find like the right home. Pretty good. This one's funny because it's a bear that makes everything else bears. So it's a 2 mana 2/2.
Where's your ox? Where's your ox that turns everything into oxes?
Yeah, this one, the goofy thing is that if you run this with the first Elish Norn, her ability is all your creatures get +2/+2, and all your opponent's creatures get -2/-2. If you pair that with this, every creature, even your opponent's creatures, also 2/2 bears. But if you partner those up with those 2 cards together, your whole field's gonna be 4/4s, and your opponent's field can't exist because they're gonna be 2/2s with -2/-2, so it'll be 0/0s when they enter field. This card's fun. Got a full general. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting cards, and again, there's cards that have not been made yet. There's cards that are paying homage to like other cards. There's a lot going on in this set.
It's a very spicy set.
Pretty good, yeah. Even like the commons and commons, like the reason why I think this is taking a little bit longer than other sets because there's so many playable commons and uncommons, and there's fun little things like this where the art is just amusing to look at. With all the energy cards too, it's also very text heavy because there's some of these mechanics that they're trying to like squeeze into here. Like, so any card that pretty much says like energy, it's gonna be like a pretty word heavy card. But pretty much we neglect all the random text is pay 3 energy to copy it, deal 3 damage to a creature or planeswalker. So you have a whole bunch of energy stacked up. You can just kind of blow up the whole field.
Yeah, but also like if you can't attack player, it's creature or planeswalker.
Yeah.
So how's that work in commander? Because commander is a creature technically, right?
Typically, yeah. There's always thing with Magic is always an exception to everything.
Right,
Yeah.
always.
Without fail.
The excuse me, but
Yeah, the whole game is just a giant asterisk, but
Magic the Gathering asterisk.
yes, this card's cool. You got a borderless card.
Oh, nice, beautiful art.
It's cool. I'd say the thing is like it's high mana value, but I think if you could find the right deck that because it's the void, it's starting to pay. Suggest you should probably play with like Eldrazi's, but at the moment it's definitely a fun card to play in like limited, but it lets you do a lot of cool things later.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, hold on. We got a
Yeah.
switcheroo there.
Yeah.
It was like, wait, actually,
Actually,
that is a good card.
Yeah.
That's a binder-worthy card.
oh yeah.
I just like the art. Like sometimes I'm that dork that's like, oh, that's pretty art.
Oh yeah, no, the art in the set. I'm still surprised I've not seen any Rich King Ferguson art. He's a very
We have a
known
lot of
Magic
card
artist.
packs still to
Yeah.
go, man. This is
Yeah.
I didn't realize there were so many in
Yeah.
the play boosters. 1, 2, wow,
Yeah.
so many here.
Should I go through these a little quicker? Eldrazi Turtle.
What's also fun is that like you can pick a creature type and your deck doesn't have to be competitive in Commander. It can, but like if you want to do a
Yeah.
Unicorn Commander or a Turtle Commander, like
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of them like that opens up a lot of creativity and funness. Playing a game for fun may be a novel concept to some Magic players.
Yeah, I know. Trust me, that's something I'm definitely trying to. Like we try to encourage different formats here, and we try to push for fun. I know. There's another flare. That's pretty cool.
Oh, it's the white version.
Yeah, 'cause this one is either pay the 4 or sacrifice a non-token white
Yeah.
creature. Till in turn, your life cannot change, and permanents you control have hexproof. So this is really good if somebody's like trying to like
Hexproof? Oh wow.
yeah, and
Permanence. That's everything.
and indestructible too as well.
Oh,
So
wow.
hexproof, so they can't be targeted by your opponent's spells or abilities, and they can't be destroyed.
So it's a 4 cost. It comes down turn 4. And
Or you can sacrifice 1 white creature.
oh wow. I'm gonna have you keep. You have to. We're downtown, so I have to move
Yeah.
my car.
Oh yeah.
But you're in capable hands. I'll be back.
Yeah. Hopefully, you can see another cool card soon. I mean, after you got the old, not Emrakul, Ulamog, he's pretty solid. But yeah, the set's very fun. I always suggest if you could go to any local game store to play any releases for this set. It's really fun. And also, if you do play Modern, the Modern format's definitely enjoyable. I'm surprised we have not got a very popular rare yet. It's a certain bird that everybody's crazy for, and also made a certain uncommon $30+. But yeah, we'll hopefully see it. Plus, if not, we have the collector boosters coming out after we're done with the play boosters. So I'm going through all these cards kind of quickly. There's a lot of products, and don't want to keep Greg here too long. We even have like some recurring mechanics from not that long ago. We have the prototype mechanic from Brothers War, which only came out like a year and a half ago. Get the Herald's All. This card's pretty popular. I know a lot of these cards have come in retro frames, so they're pretty cool. War Power Stone, pretty playable. Power Balance. This card's pretty fun. Again, it's in a similar-ish art style as the Counterbalance. Yeah, played. It's also one of the promo cards you get for buying a bundle. Talk about a fun card. Null Elemental Blast, pretty good card. Counters target multicolored spell or destroy target multicolored permanent. Especially with, unfortunately, I think Domain Zoo, it's going to taper out because of some of these cards that specifically hate those type of cards. It's not going to get as much play, but there's a lot of things going on with just how every format's getting shook up. I mean, that's kind of been the MO of all the Modern Horizon sets. They've introduced in the first one Urza, which still gets played to this day, plus a whole bunch of other cards that are very playable, like Renin 6. And then number 2, and Modern Horizon 2 definitely also heavily affected the different formats. Again, this card, I believe, is in limited. It's absurd. I think people always have to take a good double take on it, make sure that they read the card right. Like, you're putting 3 counters and you're tapping the creature for 1 green mana. It's pretty crazy. Another like Fleshbag Marauder. That's having the Marauder keyword. The Band Popper card. And of course, talk about, again, every card consistently with energy has almost too much text on it, but likely after you trim it down, it becomes more manageable. Got any flip cards. This card was pretty popular because this one originally only came inside of the Shurokai Commander deck. This one now being available, it's definitely made it more playable and more readily available. So those cards are really good. Pretty much people that have played Soul Sisters. This is another Soul Sister with additional abilities, so it's very solid. Plus, any energy deck right now is pretty much running this card. So when you play a creature, you just get an energy. And then you can spend your energy to make your things +2/+2 and flying. Very solid. And of course, you got a kind of a, hopefully, early sample of what the boardless cards look like. But of course, imagine text on it. But these cards are, some of them have really good coloring on it. I think we're now over halfway done with the Play Booster box of Modern Horizons 3. And hopefully we'll see more Mythics. It's actually been quite lacking in Mythics, so I'm assuming one side of the box will be more Mythic heavy. Of course, we're going to see all these energy cards. This card for like the 30th time. Yeah, again, Rakdos Affinity. This could be pretty common. Of course, you have more things like Careful with Drowsies. This one works a lot with your tokens having evolved, especially with your spawns coming out of 0/1, so the most likely be triggered by something. Change on one card down.
I'm back. How'd we do while I was gone?
Nothing super crazy, but we got another Mythic right now. This card's cool.
Oh, nice.
It is a unique card. I think it's right now. It's people trying to find like a good home for this deck. Card. It's a high costed card, so people they switch as long as it goes on. Because I remember when like Archon of Cruelty first came out, it was like a pretty okay card, but definitely found its room and more play later as it went on. And of course, like for example, Sino Draco, a Modern Horizons 2 card, was like a 50-cent card, and then they made a card called Leyline of the Guild Pack, which made that card go from a 50-cent card up to at one point a $10 card. So sometimes you just need to find the right card to come out that makes everything just like busted.
No, it's funny you say that because one of the designers on the Assassin's Creed that said that they'll announce the card, people say that card is trash, it's worthless, it's junk, why is it a mythic, it's stupid, and then like 2 sets later a card comes out and does the exact same thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like it makes it go from like $1 mythic to $50.
Yeah,
like
I still remember the card that's
No Kithkins. My wife loves Kithkins. She likes angels.
So this is card. Just kind of show you from a card in this set. Hopefully we'll get, but let's see if we can find this. Just so I can show you. So there's a card. If you get it, it's going to help explain the card a little better. So this card, originally, if you go back, you could check the
the history, the economy. Yeah.
So originally it
magic
was
economy.
like a $2 card. Now it's up to roughly $30.
Wow, that's wild.
Because of a card in this set. But hopefully we'll see it. It's just a rare, but I'm pretty sure anybody that plays Magic in here probably has seen this card or played against it, and they're probably not super happy with it. It's
always fun to play with, not against.
Yeah, green blues been very prominently strong in Commander. So green blue decks there's anybody that plays CEH they know about.
That's not a color I saw often when I played green blue. No.
If you're playing like in the super competitive scene, there's now this new card. Hopefully we see it, but there's also another called Kennen Bowner Prodigy. That it's a very good green blue card. Yeah, hopefully, and of course green blue is showing up a lot here in the Eldrazi. Hopefully, it's a prelude to it. Ooh, green card's interesting. Oh, this card is pretty cool. Well, Winter Moon.
Oh, cool.
Pretty much you can see an orb on an artifact. Usually something that's going to bully your opponent one way or another. This one is players can't untap more than one non-basic lands during their turn. So this card kind of pushes heavy for running a whole bunch of basic lands, which is not really common in Commander or Modern. Usually 90% of your cards are going to be non-basics. So this one punishes people for running more than one non-basic. So this card's getting a lot of play in a lot of decks right now because it makes people play more fair Magic. And cards that
more fair Magic. That's an interesting way to
I mean,
it's like more standard Commander, like what the format doesn't
I'll
excel
say
in.
it's pretty much any format that it could play it. I think some people, if a format has a sideboard, it's pretty good. Or if a format that cares also a deck that cares for a lot of mana rocks that use mana crypts, stuff like that. You get more benefit off it.
Yeah, right.
So it's if you get your use of your lands immediately and you play this card and it hinders your opponents from untapping the lands, it's pretty good. I really do like the colors on this. The good thing is even some of these cards I'm passing up, some of these cards are 50 cents, 80, 90 cents. So it's each time the pack you look at it, it's you might only get a $3, $4 rare, but in your commons you have another $6, $7 there.
That's wild.
Yeah.
For commons.
Yeah. One of the cards I think I put in here, I think it was the Vexing Bauble. That's a $2 card by itself, and you get a full, it's $5. Fine enough, talk about it right there. There's another $2.
Oh, there's the other one. Yeah, that one. Yeah, we already pulled that one again. Good card.
Yeah, yeah. So again, cards don't. Oh, finally a first fetch line. Of course, one of the better ones. This card before the reprint was up to a $40 fetch land. It's down to 20, but it's more reasonable.
Cut it in half. Still a rare. But
Yeah.
Cut it in half. That's expected.
Luckily, all the fetch lands have always been rares, but this definitely helps the overall availability of these. Yeah, because they keep going off on with printing these, but they're spaced out by X amount of years. So all the ones for Modern Heads 2 are now at the low, but then now they're climbing back up because it's been 3.5 years since that set came out. So these ones are going to be low, and so you're going to see the ones that were are now currently $10, $15. I would say in about a year or so. Oh, now they're back up to $20, $30 again. So it's kind of this ebb and flow of it. But this card's definitely a good one. I need to find. I don't know where its mouse is. It's this.
That's it. Yeah.
OBS. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, but it's really good card.
Can I see it real fast?
Yeah.
I can't read it from
So
here.
all of it does is the fetch land. All of them. There's 10 of them in total. 5 of them are going to be in this set. Pretty much, you could look for any land with that basic land type. Now, it's not to be a basic land.
Yeah, it says island or swamps with
Yeah.
identify. You could do like a dual land or
Yeah, it's
something
like
that
original
if it-
like dual land. So if you
Yeah.
happen to have like an underground sea, like an $800 card, like okay, I'm only gonna pay 1 life to it. It's also helps you fill your graveyard up, and you don't really, and especially modern. Usually people play a fetch land and pass their turn, and they'll react and get the lands when needed. Especially with in Modern Horizon or in Murders of Karlov manner, that set introduced an actually pretty decent rare land cycle of the Surveil lands. Now people are running those, 1 to 2 of those in each one of the decks that they would normally fetch because they have a basic land type. And I know the black-blue Surveil land from Karlov, it's like a $15 card. So got a $20 card there. Just in 2 lands in your deck.
Oh wow!
You like,
just in lands, yeah.
yeah. So again, the set has lots of. This is a play on Eternal Witness and something, and an Evolution Sage, I think. Yeah, this is like cards. This is random cards that pay, a random Kamigawa card.
Oh yeah, I'm okay. They had
Yeah.
a cool rat. There was a cool rat card in that deck that I played.
Yeah. If you get any of the flip planeswalkers, of course you got dinosaurs from different sets. Quests. So quests are usually were from in Landfall were from Zendikar. So again, it's like trying to cram so much. Like, hey, do you remember this set? Like, they kind of do. This card's pretty neat because it lets you do like a pseudo tutor, but also it's in these colors, which black blue is pretty heavily played. Probably colors are played more than green blue in like competitive commanders black blue.
I like black blue.
Yeah. This is a unique card. I'm pretty sure they're just printing this card to kind of help get more of these cards in circulation, but Kali the Vest, it's interesting. I'm not sure how she's going to play in Modern, but she's already been a commander card for years now, so this card's a unique one.
Same version or different version?
Same version,
Okay.
yeah. Primal Prayers. This card's a fun energy card. It kind of lets you keep discounting cards for
Or for like
energy.
red green, so you get
Yeah.
more energy. So you can play Pokemon if you want to.
Yeah. Ooh, that's kind of cool. It's like stamped. This is one of the other Eldrazi's. It's Kozilek. So all the Eldrazi can also come in this concept showcase art. So if you get it, that's pretty cool. All the Eldrazi's are noteworthy. Kozilek's probably the least interesting of the 3, but luckily you already pulled Ulamog, so you're already doing well in the Eldrazi front. But yeah.
Damn, Waterlogged Teachings 4 for instant is expensive.
Yeah,
But I guess you were playing Commander, that's very invaluable. You know, you need to get the card out for the combo or whatever.
Yeah. And also you can play it as a land if you need it. Got some Venture. It's unique because Venture was a Eldraine mechanic, but its cores are from specifically Zendikar. It's Coliseum again, another good card. Ooh, that's actually a really good card.
Another Mythic. Well,
Yeah.
we pulled Mythics a lot in the last couple packs.
I know. It's like it seems like it was like on that last
Yeah, it's on the
quarter.
wherever we're in the bottom of the box now. Where they
Sorin is pretty heavily played. For 2 mana, 1/4, not bad with lifelink. It's pretty good. It lets you life. And then he has Extort. Extort is the mechanic that whenever you cast a spell, you pay either an additional white or black while casting it. And each one of your opponents lose a life, and for each life lost that way, you gain life.
Oh wow! So you pump it. You pump it
Yeah.
for more damage.
And then whenever, as we get, and of course this is our first flip planeswalker too. So at the beginning of your post-combat main phase, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, you exile it and return back to the field, transform, and he transforms into this scary vampire. Now, he also has Extort as a stack ability, so pretty good. That helps with that. Then he +2 create a food token, which is not bad. Its -1 is probably the better one. It deals damage equal to the amount of life you gain this turn. So you have to gain 3 life to even flip in the first place. So, and this says to any target. So you're most likely like going to lightning bolt something, essentially. And then the last one is gain control of target creature. It becomes a vampire in addition to other types. You put a life counter on it, and it's a white permanent.
Oh, black and white.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. This card
He's a noble and turns into a vampire.
Yeah.
Get it. Yep.
Yeah, and also it's kind of, if you look at it, he's not a vampire on this side.
He's human. Yeah, because that's the white color. Whites are like clerics, knights, humans, like, and then black is vampires, rats.
Well, there's also a lot of lore behind this character. So the Markov Manor, they weren't all vampires. His grandfather, Edgar Markov, was dealing with some stuff, and he's like, "Hey, we can make us immortals. You just have to drink blood, guys." And fast forward, and then they cursed the Innistrad with vampires because you want to live forever. But that's also another good card. That card, I think almost all the flip Planeswalkers are getting played in one format or another.
Think about the knowledge you'd obtain if you could live forever. Like,
Yeah. Most of us get really snooty and upset at each other, and they don't want to talk to each other. And they have fun sets like Midnight Hunt and stuff like that. So Eldrazi Lizard, a 2/2 for 2. Here's some Rich King figures in it. Withering Bloom, this card's pretty okay.
I remember that card. Is that a reprint? Is that
It's I think it's a take on a card.
Oh, the thing that they do. It's not Diabolical Tutor. It's kind of like that. It does the same thing, but it's called Diabolical Teacher instead.
Yeah. So they do a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of cards in here. It's a Wumpus. But yeah,
A Warmpiss?
Wumpus?
Warmpiss.
Wumpus. No.
That's a joke from a show. He's like, I'm gonna make a brewery. What's your last name? Warmpiss. You're gonna drink a nice cold glass of Warmpiss. That's
Nice. This card is like makes Eldrazi decks look kind of strong. So it's a 4-mana 3/3, not great. You can pay 1 in a specifically colorless mana to play its kicker. If you cast a spell, you search your deck for any land, put it into play. And then if you kicked it, you exile a target land. So you could ramp you a land and exile when you're
I know searching cards is good in any format.
That's
You always
good.
getting filtering your deck. Oh wow,
It's
the borderless.
Yeah, it's a borderless fetch land, so that's pretty solid. Kind of like the Pluto Delta. This is the borderless one, so it's pretty cool. They don't
Wooded foothills.
Yeah, it looks up for forests and mountains. But that card is definitely a fairly playable card. It was like the second most expensive shock or fetch after Pluto Delta. Yeah.
Yeah, $15. Yeah, not bad. Not bad.
Yeah. Again, like there's a lot of these cards that are like 15, 10, 20, 30, 40, and they kind of add up before you know, like, oh wow, this did come out to like.
So you can make your money back on the box,
Yeah.
basically. Like that's I think that's how a lot of collectors view this stuff sometimes. Like, did I make my money back on the box?
Oh, yeah.
Wait, hold on. You made a mistake. You put a rare in here. Just kidding.
Oh yeah. I mean, it actually is a good rare. Actually, I did make a mistake. You caught me.
I was like, wait. I always like to when like, oh, it's bad. I'd like to see when the card's good.
I got too distracted by the Wooded Foothills. It was too good. I was like, oh.
It was just too good of a fetch. What was our first fetch land?
The first one was the Pluto Delta, and then that's our second one. So, but that one's borderless. So of course, more.
Borderless, full out, textless, whatever they call it. Japanese print, extended art, guest artist version. I feel like there's so many variants.
They added 2 new variants, I think. One that I know for sure. The new variant only comes in the collector edition commander decks. They're called Ripple Foils. Again, the terminology they use to describe the card does describe the card fairly well. Definitely looks like a ripples like water droplets into water. Yeah.
The one thing I do like about this game is that like if you like, I mean, I'm sure there are people playing this, but like it looks like there are promos and there are some other cards that are worth triple digits. Oh wow.
Another fetch land.
There's our fetch lands. We were wondering where they were.
Yeah, that's cool. And you also got plans, but yeah. Fletcherstrand, another very, very playable fetch, especially in like control decks. Anything against blue is usually pretty good because you can just go fetch things and counterspell mana. This is pretty solid though. I think again another fetch land is always super solid.
It's good to have in your deck in any format.
Yeah, no, and especially for commander specifically, you're running. I want to say somewhere between 10 fetches in the deck. So if they're around $10 to $20 each, definitely makes your deck a lot more expensive, and you start getting those shocks behind it. Then you're now at land base gets very very pricey in modern. So
Yeah, I bet it does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so let's say each one of those lands you're running 20 something lands, and they're averaging around like say $20 each. That's like $400 just in your land base before you even start touching anything else. That's why most modern decks are somewhere between like $400 to $600.
But it is nice though because like there are like if you they've reprinted it so like
Yeah.
you don't have to buy the $150
Yes.
Zendikar one. You
Yeah.
can just buy this one.
Yeah,
But I'm sure there are players that love doing that. You know,
No,
they want the Zendikar art. They like the Zendikar art or whatever. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. I've definitely done some Magic Fest GPs and stuff like that beforehand, and I've played against people that had the original full versions of the deck. So
Oh, wow.
Like my deck would run around like $1,100.
It's a flex, man. It's
Yeah.
a flex.
Then you go play against a person that has original print fulls, which like one
Yeah.
card is worth as much as your deck, and like
Yeah.
your deck is like you're looking at a 5-figure deck, and it's like, yeah, if that's you. I mean, especially some of these, like this game's been around for 31 years now, so there's definitely people that have put a lot of investment into this. So
Oh yeah, definitely. No, it's definitely it's a hobby, but hobbies can be very serious,
Yes.
especially in card games.
Versus Incubator is a pretty good card. This is a good reprint. It's good for decks that care for based on certain creature types. This card's actually really good. This card is amazing, just for the fact that 3/3 for 3, it's not bad. And then it has some of the best like creature typings in the game. You have zombie, goblin, and wizard. So it's
Three keywords.
yeah. And so this has the ability: pay 1 life, sacrifice a creature, create a treasure token. Treasure tokens are a thing that it's an artifact you can tap, sacrifice to make a mana. So there's like if you just want to get into modern and make a simple modern deck, the one I say like is for a combo to make you feel like makes you feel like you're playing Magic, like on the highest level. Like I'm a high intellectual player, so you just play this card. You have a card in your graveyard called Gravecrawler. Its ability, as long as you control a zombie, you could cast it from your graveyard. It's 1 black mana, and then you have another card that pings your opponent, a player, for a damage whenever a creature dies. And so what you do is you have this card out. One of the things that gain you life when your opponent loses life, and that card in your graveyard. So you sacrifice it, make a treasure token, sack that token, make a black mana, bring the card back from your graveyard, and you keep doing it over and over again.
I feel like that should be the commercial. Now you're playing Magic.
Yeah.
You like do that for like 15 minutes.
Yes, and it definitely good. So I mean, this is a triple rare pack, pretty solid. It's
Oh
got
wow,
a
good
full
pack.
toxic deluge.
Good pack.
This card, yeah, I mean, this card amazing. This card is wonderful. This card has been a commander playable card for a long time. This one's also paying life. It's just pay 3 mana and how much life you want to. All creatures get negative X equal to how much life you paid. So if your opponent has that like 13/13,
Let me see that card. It's the zombie one.
yeah, I think it's like $4 to $5-ish dollars. It's not bad, especially with the Incubator being like around $5 to $8, and Toxic's Deluge being around like $2 to $3. Definitely gain your value out of that pack. Yeah, and there's also like a borderless version of my card too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. No, it's a cool little card.
Yeah, no, the card is like, and just for a rare too. Like again, the rares in this cycle, like new cards are amazing.
The set kind of goes all over the place.
Yes,
like, it really does.
It
have
is
really cool
everywhere, and like some of
Yeah.
the cards like that have no real specific tie-ins to anything. It's good. Like again, this doesn't really. I mean, it's a black zombie
goblin, dragon,
So-
eldritch horror.
So I'm assuming this probably is a Lorwyn zombie, goblin, because that's when they introduced like black goblins. Mob, yeah. Like this idea of they just combine 3 of the same card into 1 card. They've done this with a Llanowar tribe, which is literally 3 Llanowar elves attached to each other. That's like a mirrored in looking card. Nesting Grounds is a reprint. It's okay, I think got downshift too, right? This is like the card that kind of they try to push for the Rakdos affinity decks. Pretty much just a cool thing you can do if you have like a...
8? Good lord.
They cost 1 less for each artifact you control.
Oh,
So
okay,
you get down to just 2 mana if you play it correctly. And then some of the foils look really good. I mean, there's like this void area. It's like
I like it when like part of it's matte and then like it's foil in the
Yeah.
back. And also like this is a different game, but the Pokemon stuff we have, and like I really don't like their new hollows. I like it when the Pokemon's matte and the back is like the classic '90s
Yeah.
foil. Like
Yeah.
I miss those.
it definitely gives like a pop to the
Yeah,
card.
yeah.
But yeah, we're almost like what down to last. Like,
We're almost getting there. We get to the. I'd say the good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm doing quotes if any people are watching me, so it's because it's. I mean, they're all good, right?
Yeah.
But
So even like again, this card's very playable. If you're playing again that energy deck, counter target spell, and you gain 2 energy. Counter spell, you may pay energy for, and they have to pay that much for. So if you're like spanking on like 10 energy, like 2 mana, I'm gonna counter the spell. I'm gonna pay 7 energy. So you can pay 7 mana to just get your spell off, but I'm gonna counter it. So there's a lot of these cool cards that kind of it's like. Usually, most energy decks are gonna have an obscene amount of energy, and they kind of like can hit you with
oh,
something.
that's cooler. No
Yeah,
elemental blast.
you got a full one and one other things. This card is very, very playable. If your opponent's playing any multicolor spells, you either can counter or destroy it. And you can destroy multicolor permanents.
Oh wow.
pretty
Multicolor. So yeah, good. Yeah. Suppression ray.
This card is reprinted from
A lot of
Visions.
drakes and dragons.
I was talking about how there's a card that, like, if you cast a card and you do stuff with things entering, this one is pretty common because it's 1 blue mana, you play it, in an interest field, you return a creature. Because it's already on the field, you can choose to return itself. So for 1 blue mana, you can just like, oh, I'm going to play this card. I'm going to return back to mana. Oh, I'm going to play the card. I'm going to return back to mana. I'm going to play it again. And whenever like a card enters, like, oh, draw a card when a creature enters. Like, it's very easy. It's kind of a lackluster pack on that one, but I think you've got the 3 fetches, the Planeswalker.
Good cards. Some good cards. Nice snake. Modern Horizons 3.
They're roughly about $10 a pack. So
Oh wow, they're $10 a pack
Yeah.
because it's limited. You said super limited, right?
yeah, it is a Rue Medallion. This card was it was like a average medallion. This card went up dramatically after Raul Zarek got released, and Ruby Storm. If you play Modern, you know about Ruby Storm. This card is went to a playset with people running. Oh, talking about a flip Planeswalker. Got a John.
Hey, nice.
This one, it's pretty cool. So he's a 2 mana 1/2. Not the best stats, but when he enters, you create a 2/1 cat token. So essentially for 2 mana, you're getting a 2/1 and a 1/2.
Cat tokens. Okay, kitties. All right, I'm
And then
down.
then whenever 1 or more cats you control dies, you exile and return them. So you kind of be aggressive with your cats. And then you flip them over, and he comes the second ever red-white variant of them. So his +2 is put a 1/1 counter on each cat you control, which is good if you're doing tribal cats. With 0, you create that same token, but when you do, you control red permanent. Other than Johnny, he deals damage equal to the number of creatures you control to any target. So there's a mythic in this set. Another one says that's another secret. But there's a card that makes a whole bunch of cat tokens. This card pairs very, very, very well with it. But yeah, that's a pretty solid card. Pretty consistent near this latter part. I mean, of course, fun enough, in the first third, that's where we pulled the Ulamog, which is like the big card from the set. And so far, you've been making a lot of it in the latter half of this box. Yeah, seen a bunch. But you see a lot of the similar cards over and over and over.
Right,
again.
we're getting to that point. There's only
Yeah.
about 6 packs, 7 packs off. 1, 2,
Yeah.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 4, 5. Yeah, 7 packs exactly.
This is Vortex. Again,
We're getting there. Slowly but surely.
yeah. Decree Justice.
We have to go a little faster. I have to. We don't have to stop at 1, but we have a game trader stream at around 1.
Okay, yeah. Luckily, I should be able to get through this pretty quickly. So
Oh, another red flare.
Your red flare, pretty solid. Cards like that. But yeah, we should be able to get this done before too late. The set just is a very dense set.
Just a hot. Everyone had said it. Every single time they did a card reveal, spicy set. Every next
Yeah.
card reveal, spicy set. Pre-release, spicy
Yeah.
set. That's
They-
all everyone was saying it.
Yeah, but I think the thing is, eventually, sets going to be keep climbing up in like playability. That's going to make they're getting to a point where it's going to be
Hey, buddy.
a lot of products coming out. Well, this then makes the tokens, but I think as long as they keep appeasing everybody and not overly breaking too many things, it's going to be pretty well.
You know, it's just, I mean, I think there's a lot of communities out
Another
there
freshman.
that they've spent so many years or so much time or so much money into the hobby that they're just in it. Like, I don't know what else to say. They're just in it. Like, you know what I mean? No matter how bad a set is, I'm not talking about Magic, but how bad a game gets or whatever, they're just in it. Oh, wow, classic. Excuse me. They're just, there's just no getting them out. They're just,
No, trust me. I've probably quit playing Magic 2-3 different times, and I still play it to this day. So it's been 20 odd years of me playing this game. But
20. Well, like, we've talked about this before. Like, it's a great. They make it so accessible to get in. It's the keeping up that's the hard part, right? It's getting into the game is great. They have a bunch of different SKUs and products for you to learn how to play, to start, right? It's relatively cheap, but like when you want to get to that competitive level, right?
Yeah.
That jank level of Magic, that's when it gets like, this is my hobby now. This is where I live.
yeah, it's very easy to get like caught up in the different formats.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like-
I mean,
that's why one thing that we always push for is just play to whatever your community is. If your community of your friends are playing all competitive decks and they're all trying to, turn 1 to turn 2 win, then of course you're gonna be playing that, but everybody's kind of green and that everybody wants to play that power
well,
level.
that's a cool thing, but I think that's what makes Commander so interesting, is that when I played the 6 free-for-all, that I was using a standard deck and I almost won, and a person on the table was using, a $5,000 deck, and he barely placed third. It adds an element of like a slot machine kind of mechanic a little bit when you have one of each card. You can have the best cards, but
Yeah, and also with this game as well, there's take consideration the, especially with the multiplayer mechanics.
yes, absolutely.
That there's that pseudo little corgi.
Hey,
Yeah, so it does exile stuff and it has things. It would be known as like a flicker card, so make cards.
I didn't think that little wood borer set was out yet.
Yeah, this is funny enough. It's just a dog. It's just a dog. That's not like. I think it's as sentient as any other dog would be. But yeah, it's a goofy thing. There's also a side profile version of it.
Oh, okay. So the different arts. Is it called? What's it called?
Philia.
I just like the art on it. It's cute. It's this cute little art. It's a cute little puppy.
It's apparently like a very
exuberant shepherd.
Yeah, it's a. Oh, that's the board.
Oh yeah, see, there's the board of the side profile you talked about.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking at. If you can see that board of the side profile.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, there's a lot of cool. I think it's like almost one in every single collector booster pack. So when you get the collector boosters, you're going to see more of the side.
Yeah, we're gonna
profile.
get some hopefully some cool hits there.
Again, if you haven't seen any of these other cards or me rambling earlier about the set, there's a lot of fun commons and uncommons that definitely should take a look at and just appreciate like all the unique mechanics. And that's weird.
Again, we're at our local gaming store, the Sword and Board in Ukiah, California. So support your local gaming store. They give you guys a place to play, and also most gaming stores have a ton of Magic singles. I would not imagine a gaming store does not carry a good amount of Magic singles. If you need decks,
I'm not sure if this is an error, but this is a commander card from this one of the sets.
is it an air card?
It's. I don't think it's supposed to be in the pack, but this is a commander card.
What? Did we just pull like a random mismatched pack? What is that?
Yeah, I mean the good part, like, it's nothing like super crazy, but it's the commander logo, and I'm pretty sure I've not seen any other commander cards in the set. So that's fun, I guess.
Interesting. Is it Keith Machine Famous?
Yeah.
Oh, famed machinist.
Ooh, Netherglyph. That's a good card.
Weird. Yeah, and it's 10 cents. Very weird.
Yeah, I don't know how it got there. I mean, that's
Very
also
odd.
1, 2, 3.
Interesting though.
4 rares in this pack.
Oh wow, it's
So
an
it
interesting
took
pack.
it took a slot of like an uncommon because the most you could pull is 4 rares, but that 4th rare would have been where your token would have been. So
Interesting.
that was interesting. Hey, cool. I mean, again, and also it's a good card too. This, if you guys know the card Termagoyf, this is a alternative take on it, potentially better, recurring. This card is called Nethergoyf.
Bless you.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
Another goif.
Yeah. Oh,
What was there was one that was like that weird bug eye thing, the one eye creature that's
Yeah.
called, what is his name? I forget his
oh
name.
yeah. There's a lot of things. It's Nethergoyf, and its creature type is Lugoyf.
Ladoif.
Lugoyf, and it's Nethergoyf.
Evasion.
Yeah. This card, I like the art on it. It's like a whale turned into clouds.
Oh, dude, it's like a cloud whale, yeah.
Yeah. Vanishing, a unique mechanic that's not been in Magic for a while. Of course, it's a rat token. A lifelink rat. That was, an interesting pack this far into it. They
weird.
have a card that's not supposed to be in there, but in the same set, but it's giving you just a sample size of the new collector boosters, so you're going to see more commander cards in there. So it's a pseudo collector booster pack.
Pseudo, yeah. Something not quite a collectible booster, not a point in between, yeah. So is this set done? And like it's done. Like it's not going to be a long. How long is the longevity going to set? Like I'll put it this way. Are you able to get more of this from your distributor?
The play boosters, yes. The collectors, I don't think.
Okay.
anymore.
Well, those are supposed to be super limited
Yeah.
anyway. Those are always limited. There's no surprise there.
Yeah. Oh, grief, that's cool. So this one.
Oh wow.
So this card is from Modern Horizons 2, but this is the borderless version. This card's heavily played in a deck called Scam. Scam plays this really heavily. Essentially, instead of paying the 4 mana, you could exile a black card in your hand to cast the card instead. This is a borderless grief. This also can come in textured foil, but this card is definitely heavily played. It's the bottom. Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah.
It's a very heavily played card.
Interesting.
Not bad. I'll say pretty solid. And then yeah. Again, like if you saw, there's a lot of consistent like 10 plus cards. Like it just add up. Like if you were to
Yeah, because you get the box at what 300 and something
Yeah.
bucks. So like you can get the value back on it quickly. I think.
before you know it.
And that is important to some people. People like
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
You know?
yeah.
It also becomes a game in itself. Is did
Yeah.
I lose money on the box?
Yeah, and of
or
course,
did I not?
luckily, Magic is a game where popularity is not the thing that drives it, like character-wise. Popularity might drive like small.
You're talking about
percentage.
like One Piece, right?
Yeah,
Stuff like
or just
that.
any like a lot of different TCGs in general. Like I'm assuming even the Star Wars Unlimited, if there's like a Boba Fett, it's gonna be worth more.
Yeah,
Even though
like
you might-
just because he's Boba Fett. Yeah,
Yeah.
the 40K, their Space Marines are good because they're Space Marines,
Yeah.
right? Like that's the whole concept.
This card is a really good card.
Oh, cool art.
Yeah. Does I'm counting something else, but you put it like on addition, so it has more flexibility to grow. This shifty card. This card, I'm waiting to see a deck use this. This card could potentially good, but it has the ability you could get rid of cards from your deck and cast from your graveyard for a cheaper cost, and it comes attached to a creature. Another cool things you can do with it. Another full art.
I love that art and that's nice full art.
Yep.
Wife's gonna love that. I think at this point, because the collector boosters come with so many foils, I think she's
Yeah.
gotten a full set of foil lands or something she's always
yeah.
wanted.
Yeah. So this could be the last play booster before the collector boosters, and the set's it's a lot, but the good part is I think there's like 300 odd some cards in the set, so that's right.
Is that bigger for a Magic set usually?
Yes,
They're usually
yes.
on two something, right?
Yeah,
220, 260.
yeah. And that's not including all the commander cards and all those other things. The set's it's fun. I think seeing half the decks.
Spicy
people-
set, yeah. I mean, you get that card that I think a lot of the cards work so well in so many different types of
Yeah.
decks, and that's why it's so good.
Yeah.
Like I said, there were so many. We saw so many creature types and so many different keywords. It's you know.
This Will Potential is a pretty fun card. Yeah, I think this box was really, really solid. I mean, the Emerald Coal is amazing. You pulled 2 of the flip Planeswalkers, 2 of the more
Yeah, go ahead and
ones.
go over some of the rares real fast
Yeah.
before we open the collector boosters.
Yeah, so noble cards would be, of course, the Borderless Grief's awesome. Nethergoyf's an amazing card. Both these really solid black cards. This card is a different take, but a good take on a card that already exists, was been a modern powerhouse. Of course, you got your fetches, and you have your flares, which are awesome. Flares do a lot. And then your flip planeswalkers, which are also good because they're all cheap costed and they flip over to something that does like immediate board impact. This one definitely, if you're a fan of the cat decks, this definitely helps you. And it's been a while since they've made like a really good cat support. Ruby Medallion is getting a lot of play right now due to Ruby Storm. This card,
Yeah, the 3 types cards that you can pick from your graveyard. Yeah.
the mechanics, all this. Like,
It's surprisingly a lot of modern stuff too, like you mentioned. Like it's really, it's like I feel like it injected more life into that format.
Yeah,
You know, like,
yeah. Just like the previous ones, it kind of shakes the whole format up. You got more fetches. You got like 4 fetches. This Sorin, amazing. Yeah, even like in commons, like having a $2-3 common.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild.
Yeah.
When you think about like usually commons are what, 5 cents, 10 cents maybe.
And to top it all off, you got your awesome Ulamog, the thing that just has almost too many abilities, that does too much power, that does too much thing. Like these are the cards that you kind of have to worry about, and like in like competitive formats, like this card's almost too good. So you have to kind of consider like, hey,
You think it'll be on the ban list in the next couple months?
It matters to turn out, but luckily there's other decks are kind of showing up very well right now. They're kind of performing really well. But again, that's why we're excited for tonight when we have our modern event.
Your Friday event,
so we're going to see who brings what and see what
the local meta, what the local meta is evolving into.
Yeah. So, are you going to be opening?
No, it's all you, man.
Awesome,
No,
awesome.
this is your set. You are in it. You are in it to win it. I'll be turning to you, asking what everything does. So it's all you, man.
So you got the collect boosters. These are pretty premium packs. They've been averaging around $40 a pack.
Yeah.
So having 7 of them.
But the Fallout set was like that,
Yeah,
you know, like the sets are like that.
Yeah.
They just are.
So this one you can see a lot of foils. Some of the cards we've already seen. New thing you see will be collectors. You can see some commander cards, which are unique. Almost all the commander cards exist inside of the 4 different commander decks that came out.
Lots of foils too, which is awesome if you want like a full playset of something.
Yeah.
This is where you live, you know?
Yeah. We go through some of these commons, but now you get to see the cool foil renditions of it. I always like the specific foilings of cards on things. I always love black card foils because the purples they put on them just really pop. Again, purple's very common in the black. And of course, you're going to get a full art foil land in each one of these. This should be your first. Unholy Heat, it's a reprint card, but it's a very playable card from Modern Horizons 2. You're going to get at least 1 retro framed card in each pack. This is a very, very playable card.
Is
So
it
this-
just 2 damage for mana? Is that what it is?
Well, if you don't have Delirium, you have 4 different card types, so that goes up to 6 damage.
For 1?
Yeah, it's pretty good. This card's also, like I said earlier, this card's very playable. I love the old retro
old
frame
art,
foil.
yeah.
Where the art's not really foil, but the border is kind of puts more emphasis on the art. So we'll see if keep your pretty good play made legal and modern from Judgment. Yeah, this is a commander card. There's a all Eldrazi commander deck that came out. It's very popular. Eldrazi's been shooting up in price since the release of this. Got the extended art will.
Oh, the Cloud Will.
It kind of gives
Borderless, right?
Yeah, like There's borderless. There's so many different terminologies.
I feel like
Yeah, the way to tell the difference between borderless and extended art just goes wide, not the full card. I also love removing flavor text. Oh wow, just pull. First pack, pull another Ulamog.
Oh, that's the
the
good, and
good
it's
one.
the alternate art too.
Yes, this one is pretty good. I would say that's definitely a card you want to clip. And again, this card is as strong as it is. This is the showcase version.
Oh, showcase.
yeah,
Okay, yeah. You
showcase.
said there's a lot of terminologies for these. Reverse foil,
Yeah.
reverse hollow,
Yeah.
reverse holofoil.
But even more so, this was previously this art style by the same artist. It's called Concept. Even on the bottom, it says Concept Eldrazi. So this was the first idea of what the Eldrazi should have looked like. But again, most of the art didn't vary too far off from what it originally was. Yeah, this would be Umog Defiler Showcase. This card, if you assume the other one was like around 45, 50, This one's also in the same ballpark, if not a little more pricier.
$78.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Well, like, this is the thing with, like, it's a good card, that's why it's expensive, but
Yeah.
this is, it's curious, so, like, there's a market price, and that's the last listing that's sold, right? Is that how that
Oh,
works?
that's the lowest listing currently.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So, but the market price takes into account from low listings to high listings, so the average has been selling for $88.
Okay, so you can say positive that we made money on that pack. Like,
Yes.
like that's another game
You made
we'll
your
play.
money for this pack and your next pack. That goes with that.
But that roulette roll spun and we got like,
Yeah, you're like,
just spin the wheel,
yeah,
spin the wheel again.
win one free spin. Awesome. But yeah, no. Ulamog, amazing card. The fact they got
Oh,
two of them.
bad whale.
Oh, I totally
Bad
missed
whale.
that. I mean, it's I think again when you get these like higher hitting cards, they
Yeah.
definitely make some of these cards feel less.
Yeah, they
like,
do. Yeah.
So on top of that, there's
But I love all the hollows in these collector boosters. They're so cool.
also these packs are also in the right order. I think luckily
The right order or the wrong order?
the right order. So the rumors, so I haven't flipping cards over. We'd probably still be halfway through the play booster pack if it was still in that original order. But yeah, we're almost likely.
We've seen a lot of these already, so
Yeah.
now we're just getting the full versions of them, which is
Yeah,
kind of cool.
Yeah. And of course, the lands.
Beautiful.
If I never already had this one, sorry. This is a reprint from other Modern Horizon set. It's pretty okay. Medallions are always good. Commander players love medallions because it lets you have mana fixing.
They remind me of the rings, like the soul rings and stuff like that. You know, the.
Yeah. A pro medallion. Okay, cool. You got double medallion. Not bad.
Oh, nice. Nice art, too. Beautiful art.
Ooh, and Endurance is a good card. This is like normally like a $20, $30 card by itself. So you already made your value off this. So this pack, you're still up. And then they got it.
Wow. Okay. All right. I just saw mythics kept being pulled. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right. Okay.
Yeah, these this pack, I think with all these cards, you've definitely made your value off that pack.
Free spin.
Yeah,
We
another
get
one.
another
And
free
so,
spin.
so you're still up like a pack's value worth
We're
of stuff.
good.
already.
That's good.
So, yeah, I was saying with these packs are, it's amazing that you got. You've seen a little bit of everything. You've seen the retro frames. You've seen showcase.
Yeah, good
you've
variety. You
seen-
feel a good variety of
Yeah,
stuff.
you've seen etched. Yeah, good part. People have been really fond of etched cards because of they have a good chance of not being curling. So it gets the benefit of having like a full light card, but also having the safety of knowing that it's not going to turn into a Pringle later, which every card game does. It's a thing.
Wait, what was the terminology? Pringle?
Yeah, it's Pringle. It's everything. If you leave a card out, it's
Oh,
good.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
that's cute. Yeah, like the chip. All right.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny. I've never heard that.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. You'll hear people like secret layer cards known to curl really bad.
Pringle.
Yeah.
They did that. I think in the Disney gift set that they did for Lorcana.
Yeah.
They bent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love these retro frame foils.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you're right. It's matte in the middle, then
Yeah.
foil on the outside.
Yeah.
I like those a lot
Yeah.
better.
Storms. Well, this is a commander card. This is one of the alternative commanders for the Eldrazi commander deck. And again, it's that that showcase like side profile.
Oh, right. Go with like the dog and the other one
yeah.
you keep mentioning. Yeah.
No, they're well.
I know. Well, if you want a Cloud Wheel deck, we have a place
That's
I
good.
think. So.
That's cool. Ooh.
Oh wow, that's beautiful.
So this is the white flare, but it's in a boardless version. That's pretty solid. And then if you like
Oh,
Fox
yeah.
or Kithkin type things, this is a
The side profile again.
yeah. This card's pretty fun. If you play enchantment spells, the helps make them cheaper. So this card, people have been playing. Also, the stat line for a 3-mana 3/4 lifelink.
There's
So,
value. Value.
Yeah, very commander card. I think I've seen 2 people build this as a commander card. I was saying again, you're still making.
Still ahead.
Yeah.
All right, now it's time for Flip It or Rip It. No, I'm just kidding. Did you say no?
Yeah. I mean, if you want to.
No, man, no, I don't want to do that. Like,
Oh, there
I
goes-
think it would do great view-wise, but I don't. Yeah, that's.
If you had a serialized card, that's
Oh god, but it would go viral. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It'd be everywhere, and that's my goal: is to brand awareness.
So yeah, again, we're gonna see a lot of these cards. Again, most of these cards are gonna always be very, very playable. There's some Richard King Ferguson art. Yeah, let's see. Well, that's cool. I like this one.
Beautiful plans.
It's
Oh, the Eldrazi with the rising in the
It's
background.
like it's all pleasant except for this 500-foot tall creature just destroying the landscape. Again, Unholy Heat, a really good common Let's flip it. Ooh, boardless foil. Snow covered. Ginku. It's like okay. It's pretty fun. This card's part of the Jund commander deck. That's pretty fun. And Winter Moon. It's in art. The Crabomination.
Crabomination.
It's a crab demon.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
How silly of me to not realize the Crabomination.
Yeah. Pretty solid.
The name, can he be a commander? No, he
No,
can't.
unfortunately.
Damn. Crab demon? Come on,
Yeah.
man. Like, how would you not? Why would you not want to play that?
That pack was like, I guess, comparatively now you're still.
I'm still ahead.
But
I'm still
not,
ahead, but
that
not as well
definitely
as I was.
dipped you down a little bit. But so you still have.
We still have quite a bit.
Yeah, you have after this you have 2 more packs of this, so 3 packs remaining, and then it should be.
Have you ever played Flip It or Rip It?
Yeah, I would say. I would say. Fortunately, it's that part you don't want to do with collector boost packs because mainly because ripping foils are hard and it just gets sad because you just kind of have to keep ripping it and it just doesn't want to rip. So you just watch somebody struggle destroy the card. And the worst part, if it's something that's worth value, it's like you just see people like.
It's like twisting your own arm off.
Yeah, it's like it just hurts. That's hard.
Oh, that's rad, yeah.
Yeah.
This set really is all over the place,
Yeah.
in like a good way. Like,
Yeah, and I think that's one reason why sets like these do very well. It's because you get homages to things, you get remakes things. That's cool, Swamp. That's really like a Swamp, and most of it's destroyed, but yeah. This card is from Modern Horizons 1, but reprint. This card's getting played in energy decks.
One cost red, yeah. I mean that's kind of its thing, right? 1/2 cost for like 3 damage usually.
It's one of the commander cards. Cares for energy, but if you do, you make a giant artifact. This card is pretty cool. It has the bestow ability, landfall ability, and also has like a pseudo monastery mentor feel to it. So it does a lot. That's cool. Retroframe Bloodstained Mire. This card's really spicy. Bloodstained Mire is really good. I think after this, we actually pulled every single fetch line from the set. So, amazing. Ooh, Salty. Also, very playable card. This is the boardless foil version. Kind of like the Grief card that makes you opponent discard a card. This one, while cards on stack, you could put things back into people's deck.
Subtlety?
Subtlety, yeah. So
Oh, wow.
there's Subtlety, Grief, Fury. They're all like
clever.
emotions. So.
Clever.
Yeah. So Subtlety, boardless. Not bad. Again, that made your value off that pack. I think the Subtlety is pretty solid. And then we have, after this, one more pack after this.
Wow, yeah, so many beautiful card arts.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot in this set. Again, a lot of these cards, the foils definitely let you know it's a modern legal version of a card that wasn't modern legal.
Right.
Because of
Now, is the old print card now legal too as well if you have it? Or no?
Yeah. So
Okay.
same thing for like if Pauper, if a card got downshifted to a common, if it was like, let's say, a mythic at one point, I don't think they've jumped that far, but they've definitely brought rares down to commons. And it's a hard reference. Oh, that's a weird ink spot.
Oh, that's cool. Ooh, misprint.
Yeah. I mean,
Thousands and thousands of dollars.
Hate for that this side, just for the hell of it.
Oh, it got a separate pile. You guys see, that's a weird thing though. Oh, that's interesting.
I've never seen something with like that much of a misprint. Oh my god, she's beautiful.
Oh wow, yeah, these cards.
Yeah, the colors really pop on some of these cards.
Yeah, red and green.
Oh, and now they're pretty solid. Getting fetch lines are always good. So like the packs that you've not got like amazing hits, you still pull like cards that kind of just make it up at the end. This card's very good.
Every card is so shiny. I don't know if it's good or not. Like every card is so beautiful. I'm like, is that good? You're like, eh.
No, I mean the fact that you pulled that many fetches and plus the first pack again was an Ulamog. You definitely, I don't think, like you would literally have to. This pack would have to combust in flames to be at a loss. Like you would literally have to,
This is our last pack. This is our last pack,
Yeah.
and we're on time. You can take a little
Yeah.
bit of time. Because he
Right.
said we have a little bit of time to.
Yeah.
Go
Again,
over.
this set is a very enjoyable set. If you have not opened any packs of it, try to find a local game store. Try to get some. there's just so much flavor in the set that you can find a little bit of everything.
Yeah, a little bit of it for either if you play Commander, if you play Modern, you play
Anything, yeah.
Pauper.
I guess Standard and Pioneer are the only things you can't really play in, but out of that, you're fine. Even Magic Online Arena, some of these cards are made legal. So yeah, again, the set has so many different mechanics from so many different sets with some new mechanics. It's just it has a little bit of everything. If you want to find, and of course, if you like certain artists, there's some artists that have returned to do art.
People like just based on that when an artist makes a comeback there.
I remember how the
You're doing another one.
It's like a
You got a play set of those, I think now.
this one's foil though, so that one's actually kind of spicy. Again, these full art lands, amazing. I know somebody that's trying to get a playset of these. Pretty good. Again, another Victimize. Okay.
Iron Eater.
Like, this is the dubbed. People say, kind of. It looks like me because he just wears a beanie, has a beard and everything. So everybody assumed it was like, oh, it's me. But it's an energy commander. He's pretty.
So you make a whole commander deck based around the energy mechanic. You can.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, well, that's awesome art. Is that another medallion?
Yeah. I think he pulled all the medallions. Now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Not bad.
All the medallions, all the charms.
Toxic Deluge, amazing. And last card. Oh, this one's pretty fun. So there's cards that make this card called Blood Moon that makes all non-basic lands become just mountains. This one makes all non-basic lands become
I've seen
islands.
those all basic lands become swamps. I've seen that they have them for each color. Yeah.
But this one makes it so if they are non-basic, they lose all other land types and just become island. So if you're like, say their deck's like a green, red, black, you play this and have a lot of double colored lands. They just have blue mana and they can't cast anything.
Oh wow.
This card's pretty cool.
Legendary?
Non-legendary, but this could go in like in a lot of decks. So.
I was gonna say Well, that's interesting card.
Again, you've got really
that was really good for 7 packs.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I mean, if anybody opened this amount of packs just in general and they pulled the fact alone, just these 2 cards right here. Let's see, where are they? That 2 right there is enough to make anybody happy. Even like.
The Mug of the Fire, the regular one, the borderless full alternate
over
art.
$100 worth of value just in these 2 cards.
Oh
right
wow!
here.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
There's good cards, and he's a legendary creature, so he is a good commander because
Yeah,
he'll
it could be
drowsy,
your
right?
commander.
That's the whole point.
They could be any deck set. And the good part, because it's colorless, it goes any deck ever. You're like, oh, I just want to have a 10 cost card that, and especially commander, you have so much more deck to hit with half of it.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I hit your Ulamog. Cool, I'm going to put 10 1 counters on it. I have my 17/17. When it attacks, you have to sacrifice 10 permanents.
Board wipe. You
Yeah.
just clear it. You're dead.
And you take 17 damage.
And you take 17 damage.
Yeah, so I was saying, like, between that, all the fetches, all the cards, even some really very playable commons, their packs was very good. Again, even if you are a person that kind of primarily looks for, like, the monetary value sets, this definitely gives you that, and plus just the normal enjoyment.
Yeah.
Like, even if you don't care about the value of the cards, this card looks awesome, does amazing things, and it could go in so many different decks that it just makes it so easy to interject anything from the set into already existing things, or just go off your own tangent with your own idea of a deck that you found. Like, maybe you like enchantments, you want to do an enchantment deck with this card.
Yeah.
You just like the card, think it's
A
pretty.
lot of variety.
Yeah, you got, of course, the borderless cards, you got extended art, you got Eldrazi cards to help make it, and then you got like your etched foils from cards that are doing amazing. So yeah, there's just so much stuff that you can constantly add anything to any deck, and there's just so much fun, enjoyable cards in the set that I think everybody's been really happy with the set. Outside of being limited and
A nice
pricey.
spicy set. Oh, I'm just gonna go to full screen camera
Yeah.
so they can see us when we do our outro. There we go. So yeah, Cody, thank you so much, man. You're super knowledgeable about this. Even you seem really pumped about this set because there's so much. There's so much going on with it. There's so much variety, so much access, so much value, like both tabletop and monetary value, like in the set. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for things that people like play modern and different formats like that, when you have something that shakes the game up in a creative sense, where there's a lot of strong things, but right now I've seen in the last like week and a half, 2 weeks since it's like pre-release, just constantly like, new decks. Like this one's doing really well. Oh, this new deck's coming up and doing very well. This deck's coming up. So it's just
That's
like
the fun part. The figuring out the meta is the
Yeah.
fun part. When you settled, it gets boring.
yeah, when it comes like, oh, it's that deck again.
Yeah, that deck again.
But
Shocking.
the
Yeah.
fact that it gives you so much like breath of fresh air when it comes to just being able to venture off into different archetypes, different things that you haven't touched for a while. Even getting like the elf support. And there's so many other mythics and rares we didn't pull from the set that are also just good value. So even with this being pulled and everything, there's still so much available that you can get even more cards that maybe those cards we didn't pull. There's a card I guess that we didn't pull that would have been notable. It's called Nadu. It's a bird wizard. It made a 50-cent or like $2 card up to a $30 card.
Wow.
It's currently Commander players are falling in love with it. I think actually one of the people really I can see from here the kid in that white shirt built the deck immediately as soon as he got it, and there's like 2 other people that built it. It's doing very well in modern as well. It's just doing a lot, and just one card could again. It's making cards that are older that you might have had sitting in your bulk box. Now it's like a $20, $30 card, and it's been multiple cards that have done that. So I think the set has interjected new cards and also made other cards very playable. So this set, I'd say it's probably my favorite set so far this year. That's in a lot. The sets like Thunder Junction was an amazing set. Murder's also amazing set. And you have Bloomburrow coming out at the end of next month.
Assassin's Creed. Yeah.
So
they're on fire.
there is literally
Final Fantasy.
Yeah, there's if you have feel like you can't really make a deck, I would say at this point you just need to just find something. There's something there, and then luckily if you go to any of your local game stores anywhere, anybody should be able to help you find a deck that fits your exact wants and things. Like I know with your wife, she loves like angels, and you have a thing for rats. There's a rat card we didn't pull in this set.
Yeah.
There's angels we didn't pull in this set.
Yeah, a lot of different stuff.
And so with all that, there's stuff for everybody. And if you just could find it, and the good thing is, if they're not those expensive cards like the $88 Ulamog,
$125 land. Yeah.
There's also those 50-cent rares that fit perfectly in a deck. And right now they might not have the known deck that it will go into really well, but eventually, like, it takes that one person, like, oh wow, I found these 3 cards work very well with each other, and now that card goes up to like $20. So again, don't worry about the monetary value about this set.
Have fun.
Have fun, and again, this set is just bursting with fun. I think it's an amazing set.
Awesome. Well, Cody, thank you so much, man. That was awesome. We'll be back again soon for the Bloomburrow set and the Assassin's Creed set.
Yeah, yes.
So we're definitely going to be reviewing these on the show and taking a look at that stuff. Hopefully we'll get them earlier, because I like to get them early because you can kind of like, before it gets settled. Because Modern Rise has been out for a while. I got overwhelmed by summer, so we didn't get to this until after I came back. But like when you get them early, it's great because you get to see some maybe cards they haven't revealed yet or something like that.
Luckily, all these values on these cards, they've settled. So these are pretty consistent prices. So this card's going to be consistent at that price. And if anything, things might just spike up due to the playability.
Yeah.
So just enjoy the set.
Well, thanks you guys, and we'll be back soon again. This will be on our VOD channel afterwards, and we have our own EIC and owner of Shacknews, Asif Khan, coming on next for his Game Trader show, where he talks stock market and stock market advice. So stay tuned for that. Thanks, everybody.